Happy Wednesday. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today. We are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes, but if you would like to get on the list for today, the list, as always, is open. As always, it is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps. Those are pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We are also doing 2 giveaways today. We will be doing a reading giveaway when we get to 50K likes. So make sure that you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. Also, when you tap the screen, it encourages the live to be pushed out to those who haven't received it before. We're also doing a giveaway of a free reading for the highest gifter between now and the conclusion of the daily collective read. So I wish you a lot of luck if you're participating in that, if you're in that giveaway too. Prior to beginning today's daily collective read, I will be giving a brief recap on what we've been seeing in the cards over the last few days. If you would like to catch that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it over on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my stack. But before we begin, most important question, first and foremost, how are you doing today? There are no wrong answers. The energy we are experiencing right now is very intense. That is an understatement. It's also very energetically frustrating. I'm just going to kind of walk you guys through. We have a profound amount of planets that are currently in retrograde. A majority of those planets are retrograding in Aries. This can do a number on our feelings of frustration, on the time that things are taking. I want to it's like all of the lessons that we're working through right now are centered or focused upon patience and perseverance. And one of the things I want to kind of discuss particularly that we're experiencing at the moment is the fact that not only do we have a lot of this energetic intensity and it's been going on for a long time. This is a very long retrograde cycle. So you have to look at the fact that we've got a very long retrograde cycle that's been in Aries. So it almost like creates situations or circumstances that makes one feel like one's patience is wearing thin. I would not be surprised if you say even now that you feel like your patience is wearing thin, but not necessarily on a specific thing in particular, just like in general, like just in general, and just in a general kind of sense. It's also doing a number on the space by which we experience time, because retrogrades often can create a little bit of those feelings of stagnancy, or working through a lot of that feeling of like navigating through an energy of a rut. Now, one of the things that may have intensified some of the energy that we're currently experiencing is the fact that when we moved into Virgo season, we've had a lot of that Virgo energy that works us towards perfection. I feel very frustrated for my Virgo babies right now, because this is not the most ideal energy for those with Virgo placements to be navigating into their season. Why? Because those with Virgo placements often have to work through the realm of perfection on trying to find energetic ideals. It's very hard when we're going through Aries cycles to have a lot of that, because there's a lot of that short-temperedness, if you will, that almost makes it hard, makes it kind of like the frustration of like some things that feel like they wear away at one's own sense of patience. And then we've got a lot of that sense, that pristine energy of Virgo coming in that's seeking perfection. I'll tell you right now, to help you through this type of energy, it's not the fact of moving away from things right now. And we're going to be talking about this as we continue to move closer to the eclipse. The feeling of moving away from something right now, make sure that you're able to articulate upon the reasons why. Because I want to describe that some of this, like it almost, like the best way I can describe it is it feels almost like these flares, if you will, or feeling a lot of those energetic flares in relationality to this. One of the things that we are receiving right now that I do feel is helpful for this energy is the fact that over the last few days, we did see the fact that Saturn moved back into Pisces. And now that can feel like it creates some kind of space of energetic relief or release, as it were, specifically and particularly because one of the things that we identify and recognize planets in air, like when Saturn is in Aries, and I was describing this when Saturn first moved into Aries, it can almost feel like it creates a state of everyone having a Saturn return to a certain extent. It can create a lot of that feeling of not having enough time, or working in the space of feeling like time is not operating the way that one would ideally like aspire or desire it to. Saturn in Pisces creates a little bit more of that easement in relationality to all of the intensity we have in relationality to those planets that are all retrograding in Aries at the moment. We also have the fact that the moon is currently in Capricorn, which can be a lot of that energy that feels almost like a reset, or bringing one into a sense of focusing on productivity. I would say right now, and I said this yesterday, today and yesterday are probably the best energy that we're going to experience in relationality to getting things done prior to the energy of the eclipse season coming in. And we want to be very conscientious during this eclipse cycle. I'm about to be writing a whole article upon this over on my stack when I'm in the Mystic Meditation articles, because one of the things that we have to recognize that we see when it comes to eclipses is that they don't necessarily bring a characteristic quality to an energetic frequency so much as they amplify what we're currently experiencing or inhabiting. I'm going to say this again. I've been saying this for several days. If you don't feel grounded in this energy, I want you to prioritize feeling energetically grounded, because it's going to potentially intensify before it eases up. A lot of the work that we see, and I also was getting a lot of these messages that were coming through in relationality to understanding that there seems to be a tendency or a desire to kind of want to go into hermit mode with this type of energy, wanting to go internal, wanting to kind of harbor something through, wanting to kind of keep something within. That's not necessarily going to be helpful in energy like this, because as I said, if what you want to effectively avoid is something that's energetically bothering you, that you're holding back to yourself, right? And then you start to feel that intensification point of the eclipse cycle that creates potentially some kind of space or energy of volatility. The way we kind of recognize this, and one of the reasons we're also experiencing this right now, is this is effectively the culmination of a lot of those temperance relationships that we saw have been coming into formation ever since the solstice period. Now, one of the things that we were recognizing with a lot of that energy is the observation of mutual effort, being able to recognize and identify what one is able to bring forth towards something in order to build something into a better sense of resolution. For a lot of the energy in separation right now, I would not be surprised if there's the melodies by which I'm seeing it. I'm gonna bring this up again because we were talking about it yesterday. It's not the fact that there isn't the possibility of restoration in energy like this. But one of the things that we identify and recognize as it relates to restoration in energy like what we're experiencing is the observation of what time can and cannot heal. Now, in the observation of experiences from the past where one may have felt like one brought an overabundance of emotionality to something that wasn't energetically important, these are the type of resolutions or restorations that I'm seeing that are occurring in these modalities, because it's the understanding of time allowing for perspective that helps one be able to clarify and heal in relationality, being able to prioritize and build into the context of recognizing and identifying mutual standards. What time cannot heal are modalities or moments where we feel a lot of emotions about something because we were holding standards towards them. And when another person sees us holding emotionality to a strong energetic standard and moves away from it with the expectation that when they return, the emotions will be gone. This is why I see that there may be a lot of healing that's happening right now as it relates to letting go of unhealthy energetic cycles where there's a recognition of non-aligned energetic standards, which is the space by which someone comes back and says, are you finished being emotional? And another person says, I was never being emotional. I was being fundamental. The healing that is potentially happening in that space is the clarity and observation of what is occurring that is allowing one to heal from any kind of trauma that may have occurred in modalities such as that. I also see the fact that there's some energy right now that's moving deeper into divine union. And for a lot of those relationships, I'll say that there's potentially a lot of release and relief that's occurring right now as it relates to expressing to one another the anxiety, the difference, as it were, between articulating upon what one was healing from and the observation of being able to see that invested effort in action. Because for a lot of those energetic situations, I was even recognizing that some of those energies in separation were healing from modalities or experiences wherein they were hurt or harmed by someone that was not embodying a manifestation. And what can that often look like? That can often look like someone who articulates upon the fact that they're trying to heal from something, but then as soon as the past comes back, they rush back towards it, which is the observation of someone being more in a space of waiting. So for a lot of these energies, that sense of, I keep on hearing that sense of excitement or that sense of release or relief is almost allowing the context of that energetic burden that allows one to be able to move towards something with a greater impact. And even in the context of being able to do so, we see that a lot of that energy is feeling fortified as it relates to being able to articulate to each other and express more by sharing in terms of what they were feeling internally as it relates to experiences from the past. Now, this brings us to the energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now. A lot of these relationships that we see that are moving deeper into divine union right now are those magician partnerships that were coming together from about the time that Mercury and Venus stationed direct behind Neptune up until that solstice period that we just experienced. For a lot of these relationships, we actually saw that now is a period of timelines being advanced, things that are potentially moving even quicker than one anticipated or identified that one had expected to. Why? Because we see that a lot of that energy is feeling the celebration of feeling fortified and secure in energetic partnership. And that modality of doing so, feeling that sense of energetic arrival, as it were, is allowing a lot of that. The difficulty for a lot of those relationships right now is potentially having to work through or navigate healthy static. And what do we mean by healthy static? The observation and recognition of relationship outside of partnership that may see the rapidity of those relationships that are moving deeper into connection and potentially misaligning them to the perception of something that may have happened in the past that was unhealed. So again, that same feeling of energetic frustration that's potentially coming up right now in this retrograde, having to basically unpack upon an energetic past that one would rather be disinclined to speak upon, but in the same extent, understanding that one must articulate upon it in order to effectively energetically clear the air. This brings us to the energy deep within divine union. And for a lot of those relationships deep within divine union right now, one of the things that we're effectively seeing that's happening, and I'm just gonna point this out. This is just to show you qualitatively that there isn't any better or worse place to be on the frequencies, because this type of energy right now, I would not be surprised, is most difficult for those who are deep within divine union, because as we've discussed, it is the frustration that fortifies direction. It allows for a lot of that amplification of understanding and recognizing what that direction is. For a lot of those relationships, being able to identify and recognize that work, the frustration that fortifies isn't necessarily helpful for energy deep within divine union. You'll recall a lot of these relationships were those chariot partnerships that entered from between the time that Mercury and Venus stationed direct behind Neptune up until Mars went direct earlier this year. So it's more just working through the doubts of the self, working through the energetic patience that is required right now. You know, one of the things we were talking about yesterday for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, maybe feeling like you're navigating the slings and hours, the slings and arrows of minor inconveniences that feel like they often energetically build or wear upon the psyche. But this is why we see that for a lot of the energy, the gift of the partnership is very much in alignment to what we saw or received in that full moon that we just experienced that was in Aquarius, which is that space by which we want to take something energetically personally, or we get very focused upon something Partnership allows us to be able to step back and have that energetic perspective. So what we effectively see that is happening right now for a lot of those energies deep within divine union is not only building upon the context of perspective, but also simultaneously becoming more energetically comprehensive, doing more, learning to energetically expand, working through, right, working through the context or the observation that healthy manifestation is not one by which we wait, but by which the space by being patient is where we effectively plant those seeds in terms of what it is that we're trying to work upon or do in a better way. So we see even now that for the biggest hurdle right now for energy deep within divine union is not potentially projecting that frustration onto counterpart, but allowing it in a way to effectively help one clear one's own sense of vision. That is where we find all of the energy prior to beginning today's daily collective read. But let me know in the comments how this energy is impacting you personally. If you would like to find this full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it over on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my stack. That said, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. But if you would like to get on the list for a personal reading, the list, as always, is open. As always, it is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a few minutes to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. September is going to be lit. That's a very positive way of putting it, which is so good to see you today, dear. I hope you're having an absolutely beautiful start to your day. And welcome, Fernando. Hi there, Johnny. Hi there, Amy. Spiritual, thank you for joining us. Grand Rising Minnie. Minnie, yes, I've been very short-tempered, working on compassion of self and others. And I want you, like, it's because everything's retrograding in Aries. Nobody has any patience for anything right now. Just working into the context of being energetically productive, we have to allow for that alignment of compassion to guide us right now. And Cassie, thank you for those gifts. I know the description is tiny. When I'm doing the update, I make it smaller intentionally, so it's not in the way. Thank you, Hawk, for the gifts. Hope you're doing well today. Grand Rising, Haley, good to see you. Elisa V, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. Lindsay, as is yours. Elisa, I remember at the beginning of the year, the stars said we'd be in the good part after July. Well, who said that? I mean, the thing, I need to stress this. It's not the fact that we can't move through this energy effectively, but it's understanding the energetic challenges that are necessary as we overcome or work through a lot of the energetic work that we're experiencing right now. The one thing we have to be very conscientious about, I just keep on seeing this, and we're going to keep on talking about this right now. We're going into an eclipse during a retrograde. And we were talking about this yesterday. Remember when I brought up the fact that the spread I got yesterday was very anomalous? There was a lot of anomalous stuff happening in the spread. This is a very anomalous eclipse, which is to say there's a lot of it's like a bunch of anomalies stacked on top of each other. The profundity of retrograde energy that we have occurring at this time is in itself energetically anomalous. The fact that at the same time we also experience and see a lot of that energy moving into an eclipse cycle, eclipses themselves are also energetically anomalous. So now we've got the combination of the retrograde with the eclipse that can create it's a lot of like, the best way I can describe it is it's weird energy. And so I'm going to tell you right now, working on things right now, being energetically patient, being energetically comprehensive, working on planting those energetic seeds, being energetically consistent right now, all of these things are beneficial. What you want to effectively avoid, right, much like we do with eclipse seasons, is having those spaces or places where you effectively no snapping. Okay. That's kind of the best way. And here's the thing, it's not that you can't snap, but make sure you're snapping to a beat. Make sure that there's a logic to something that you're snapping about, right? It's a space by which one can effectively snap in the observation of something that is happening continuously that one is trying to effectively change, right? Like that type of snappiness is going to be helpful in this type of energy. What you want to avoid is having those like moments where you bring a lot of overabundance emotionality to something that doesn't necessarily require it. Hi there, Queen of Swords. Good to see you today. Good to see you too, Haley. I can feel it. Grand Rising, Bridget. And hi there, Executive. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you as well, Bridget. Yes, thank you. Sleep still evades me. Feel good. Oh, make sure that you're prioritizing rest. I'm going to tell you, with these many planets in Aries, it can be hard to stay down when you're sleeping. Gorgeous. I don't know why you come in here and you post like this. I don't think this is the first time you've done it. I'm gonna pin you up because it's very funny. Oh, I couldn't pin it. Why can't I pin it? I mean, you're in my chat telling me to get off your feed. You have to work in the context of what you want happening to be productive. So if you come into the chat to tell me to get off your feed, that's not the way it works. but again, you just need to scroll through. I hope you have a better day. Okay. Hold on a moment. Okay, I have to pin it though. It's kind of funny. Oh, I can't pin it. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Feeling I know that this it's a perfect example. It's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. To be perfectly honest, I mean that's the case in point. Feeling a 3 out of 10. I'm feeling supported but gutted. I know I completely understand right now, V. Like that is, and I gotta tell you, like especially the thing about this particular retrograde season is the fact that it's so long. And here's the thing why, and this is a reason I need to explain to others. Everyone keeps on saying to me, when is it going to end? And I'm like, it's going to end as slowly as it began. You have to understand, it wasn't like there was a day that all these planets decided to go into retrograde together. They didn't have a meeting. They didn't have a meeting and we're like, okay, listen, on Tuesday, yeah, we're just going to retrograde. They all went into them at different points. And so they come out of them at the same point. And the reason I keep on saying right now, I want to make sure you're feeling okay with all this retrograde energy is in a couple days, right before that full moon, Uranus is also going into retrograde. So we want to make sure that we're feeling energetically grounded right now, because it may not only intensify, but, and I gotta tell you, like, and this is the thing about it, if any planet was going to retrograde, Uranus is not the one that is going to retrograde and bring on a case of the warm fuzzies. Okay. If you're seeking warm fuzzies, Uranus retrograding is not going to help with that. And thank you as well, Minnie. I should be able to stay on for the full collective. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, dear Hawk. I'm greatly appreciative that we weren't, it's easier to accept what happened. Sending you support on that journey, Hawk. And one moment to Beep. Took your advice of seeing pettiness with sympathy. And after yesterday, boy, was that good timing. I'm glad that something I gave you here helped with your day, Beep. And again, and the same thing, Hawk. And here we go, Bridget. Dog sitting for 2 weeks today, and I'm a bit anxious. And the thing we want to work through right now with the anxiety, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's the easement point that we're experiencing with the fact that that Saturn has moved back into Pisces. It's potentially having a lot of emotionality coming through, or feeling a lot of emotions, or being able to work through the emotions more effectively, but it's still not necessarily easy. Like, one of the things I'm going to keep on amplifying and articulating, this is easy does it energy at its finest, is the best way I like to describe it, which is, again, and when we talk about this, the ability to kind of be able to move through this right now, even keel, letting that be the observation of building into productivity, let that effectively fortify as you're continuing forward in this energy. I read your disco message this morning, and oh, sending you so much support, dear, as well. Sending you so much support on that journey as well too. Ramon, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. Here for well, which is you got Aries placements, don't you? I mean, here's the thing. The energy I feel like is going to be a little bit ready for this type of energy right now. I've been saying this: Scorpio, Aries, Leo, like Leo energy. It's a little bit of like knuckle cracking energy. You know what I mean? I'm conscientious about my Virgos right now. Like this energy right now for those with Virgo placements. I like to describe it. The vibes are not immaculate, but I also see even now, like I feel like a lot of that space, recognizing and identifying, working through things energetically. Pisces right now, I want to make sure that you're feeling energetically grounded. Virgo energy, I want to make sure you're feeling energetically grounded. Aquarian energy as well right now, because it's really there's something very, and I'm going to say even like those with Taurus placements, this can feel a little bit difficult, right? Because it's working through energetically intensity and potentially feeling energetically irritated and not being able to put your finger on why, if that makes sense. Yes, I did not get any sleep last night. Sending you support, Elisa. Hold on a moment, just catching back up on the comments. Be gone. Exactly. See, Witches has got it. Be gone. Like that. Okay. Oh, so good to see you, dear. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you as well, Florida. Actively engaging is not the way. I like that. I like that caress. And where are we? My dragon cat, Hazel. I understand being anxious away from your BB. No, I see that. I saw that there too. I dog sit too and be anxious away from Athena. I think my planets did have a meeting though. Ella, good to see you today. Hey there, BB. How are you doing right now? Yeah, also new space and sleeping is hard as well. Sending you support, Bridget. So nice to see you too, Haley. Welcome. Ooh, a travel mattress topper. I didn't know you could do that. Ooh, post that in the disco. I want to see what that is. That sounds cool. Thank you as well. Hey, how are you doing today, Eagle? And thank you, Mello, for the cherry. Thank you, Mello, for the cherry. Thank you, Mellow Cherry, for the follow, is what I meant to say. It's fine. It's one of those days, friends. A couple of updates before we get into our daily collective. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone who attended our recent class on we have fun here, don't we? Thank you to everybody who ended our recent class on the Tower card. Our next class is going to be held on Wednesday, September 16th oh my gosh, this is what I'm talking about. September 17th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the star card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access to, as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give you an update on everything we've studied prior to beginning that class. But if you wanted to catch up, this is a great time to join. You've got a couple weeks left if you want to kind of take a few classes each day to be able to meet us where we are in terms of our studies. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we've learned and studied thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, you will also receive full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library class archive. That is access to over 17 hours worth of material in an ever expanding library. You will also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best advantage moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do with these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also be notified as to any new articles I post. I'm going to be releasing a mystic meditation article shortly on how to navigate this full moon that we've got coming up, because it's a real doozy. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which you can purchase per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. That said, we are going to get started on today's Daily Collective in the next few minutes. Thank you so much, Bumble, for that beautiful gift. If you would care to get on the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We do here life path, highest priority messages from spirit, past life, angelic guidance, pet readings, animal spirit guide readings, mediumship readings, dream interpretation readings, guided messages, Akashic, and mind, body, spirit. I'm going to take a few moments to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. We're also doing 2 giveaways right now. The first giveaway we'll be doing is a reading giveaway when we get to 50K likes. Friends, we're already at 6.7K, so make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. The other giveaway we're doing right now is a reading giveaway for the highest gifter. Bumble, you are definitely in the lead right now. Thank you so much for those gifts. And as I mentioned, if you'd like to get on the list right now, the first person on the list will always have an additional card in their reading. All right, where were we? And thank you as well. How are you doing, Good Grand Rising, which is so good to see you as always, dear. All right, I know this energy right now is it's wacky, man. It's just wacky. It knocked me out earlier too. Like this morning, I don't know what happened. It was like, woof, like it was just really intense. And I'm so glad to hear you be able to stay on for the full one today, dear. I know. Thank you as well, hold on, I know. And thank you guys for supporting each other in the comments. Mello, again, thank you for the follow. How are you doing today? Mello for the cherry. It was great. We do have fun. This energy has had me fumbling it's so funny too, because my son is like picked up the word tongue-tied. He's like, I'm so tongue-tied right now. I'm just so tongue-tied. I'm like, I know what you mean. It's tongue-tied. It's tongue-tied energy. It's like, it's hard to get the words out. We do have fun. Yeah, best part of my day. Thank you, Bridget. Always so good. And thank you guys for being here and sharing your morning with me. Grand Rising, Nikki. Good to see you today. Grand Rising, Bumble. And thank you for those beautiful gifts. And again, I've been thinking about you too, V. I know it's so difficult when we have someone cross over. Angel, Angel, it's okay if you can't afford a reading. One of the reasons that we do the Daily Collective is for those who can't afford a personal one. And so, also for those who are subscribers, that's also why we do the free 1 cards. Again, if you stick around, you'll be able to have that reading, and I'm always here whenever you can. Okay. Don't let that bar entry in having a reading here. And thank you, Hawk, for the follow as well. I'm a bit worried, as this was supposed to be an easy time, but I'm not doing so well. Who told you this was going to be an easy time? I need to call them. Who told you? Who told you that? Who have you been talking to? Who told you going through a retrograde with 6 planets and then having an eclipse coming up was going to be in any way, shape, or form easy? Who have you been talking to? I'm sending you so much support, Elisa. First, hold on a minute. I know. We need names here. We need to go talk to them. um, excellent. Excellent. Thank you as well. Yeah, nothing's been easy over here. No such thing as easy. Listen, I will no, I mean, and here's the thing I need to point out. When we're going through some energetic cycles are easier depending on our astrological placements. We talk about this here. Like for instance, one of the things we talk about is we have a tendency of noticing that those born during retrograde seem to have an easier adaptability of going through some retrograde periods. I was born between eclipses. When eclipses come, I'm like, yes, you know what I mean? You feel more comfortable depending on the energetic frequency. But when I said the fact that this is an anomalous eclipse that we're experiencing, it's not that we've had eclipses before. We're like, okay, like maybe there's a planet in retrograde that's been making things a little bit more frustrating. Maybe there's two. Dude, there's like 6 planets. There's 6 planets in retrograde right now. And there's going to be another one that goes into retrograde before the eclipse hits, which is why I keep on affirming to you guys and saying, make sure that you're feeling energetically grounded, because it's going to potentially intensify before it ebbs it before it energetically eases. And I do feel like, and that's why I said that yesterday and today are probably the most functional energy that we're going to experience before a little bit of that uptick, because we've got the moon in Capricorn, which is just like, getting things done, being energetically productive. And then we've got, thank you so much, BB, for getting on the list. We've also got, and then on top of that, we've also got, we've got the fact that even with Saturn moving into Pisces, honestly, it's just the fact that it's one less planet in Aries right now retrograding. It allows for a little bit of being able to work through effective or not feeling like trying to get ahead of oneself is what I keep on seeing. This is like spinning plates energy, That said, friends, we are going to get started. Yeah, I'm definitely more comfortable. I think that's because I was born during, you would see that that's exactly it. If you were born during 6 planets in retrograde, you're probably kicking. And here's the thing. But were you born during 6 planets in retrograde with the eclipse? The eclipse is going to be it's just going to intensify all of it. You know what I mean? It's very anomalous energy right now. Hi there, Eggle. How are you doing? I feel like something. Okay, well, that's what we want to avoid. Okay, the thing we want to avoid is the feeling of something bad coming. Like that is what we want to effectively work through. Okay, because I'm going to tell you right now, the reason that you might be potentially feeling like something energetically bad coming is the fact that we've got the planets retrograding in Aries. Okay. And Aries is warrior energy. Like Aries creates a lot of that, like battening down the hatches kind of vibration. So that's why I keep on saying, make sure that you're navigating through this energy with compassion, right? Communicating upon something that you energetically care about. But again, and I'll tell you right now, this is a type of stuff that we talk about with Pluto being in retrograde right now too, right? It's working through a lot of that energetic frustration. It's a lot of the anxiety potentially coming up to the surface that allows us to effectively clear it. And how do we clear energetically? How do we clear energetic anxiety? Through compassion. No, Nikki, no. None of that. No. But again, I get the fact that it feels a lot like that right now. One moment, my subconscious, Grand Rising, Julie, good to see you. I'll have to look that up. My subconscious is feeling so much activity. I get it. It's very activating energy. And thank you. The retrograde season is going to end as slowly as it began. And I'm actually, one of the things I'm going to plan on doing to kind of help with this when I do the Mystic Meditations article is I'm going to try to break down when we can expect the breakdown of the retrograde, because that's the thing about it. You have to understand the retrograde isn't going to go away. It's going to break down, which is the space by which you have to understand. It's not like all the planets just come out of retrograde at once. Each planet is going to be coming out of retrograde at its own energetic time. And as they do so, it'll ease the discontent. The discontent will start to ease back a bit. Yes, the end is nigh. My metaphor for this retrograde eclipse full moon season is I'm on a roller coaster ride, not in control. Well, and that's the thing about it. I mean, like and here's the thing about it. It is working through a lot of work in terms of surrender, but I need to stress this. Surrender isn't giving up. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of the tendencies that we're seeing that one has to kind of potentially push through right now is with a lot of this energy in Virgo, there is this like desire to like hermit up, right? There's this desire to kind of pull back. And I feel like the space by which we understand surrender is actually like moving through something and not feeling like one is forcing it, but just like I keep on hearing going in the general like just going through something in a way, but not allowing oneself to be knocked over by it, if that makes sense. It, it remind the analogy that comes to me a lot in relationality to this energy that we're experiencing. Have you ever stood in the ocean and there's like a big like there's a big wave coming and it looks really energetically like frightening? What do? Do you push in? You have to dive into it, right? Because either you dive into it or you go with it. Because if you just stand there through it, you know what I mean? That's what happens. It's like it knocks you down. So that's the type of energy that we're talking about right now. It's understanding and recognizing how one needs to kind of work through something, if that makes sense. Yes, and screaming when necessary. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, especially with Aries, which is like, yeah, you can scream the whole time. We're not doomed. And this is what we have to be conscientious about, because when Uranus goes retrograde, like a lot of that like doom, 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 doom energy is not helped when Uranus goes into retrograde. Grand Rising, Julie. I know you're kidding, Eggle. I know you're kidding. I know you're kidding, Nikki. Yes, I know, as slowly. And thank you for those roses, BB. Hi there, Team Osana. Good to see you today. I love a necessary scream. Surrender is the word echoing my mind, but warrior is alarmed by it. Well, I need to point this out. Oh, I love him. I feel like you have to understand a good warrior understands that it does not energetically fear surrender. Fighters fear surrender. A warrior understands that when you're in the energetic space of surrender, that surrender does not mean giving up. Surrender means experiencing understanding and recognizing the space that you are in so that you can make the best energetic decisions necessary, right? It's a lot of that type of work. Yeah, diving into the wave. Great analogy. Thank you. Thank you as well, Bumblebee. And Nikki, thank you as well. V, I've been diving into the waves, feeling emotions without needing to name them. I like that, V. That's a very beautiful way of articulating that right now. Understands when, yes, exactly. Understands when surrender is necessary or wise. And again, I like to point this out. Surrender is energetic acceptance. It's not giving up. It's the space by which one understands something and is energetically fortified by it. You would really enjoy being around me these days. My friends, as I mentioned, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read. I will point out today the list is going to be a little bit shorter than it typically is. So if you would like to get on the list, please do so sooner rather than later. If you would like to claim a spot, you'll currently be the second person read for if you'd like to get on the list. It is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. Also, friends, we are doing 2 giveaways today. Our first reading giveaway is going to be a free reading for the highest gifter. So I wish you a lot of luck if you are participating in that giveaway. The other giveaway we are doing right now is a reading giveaway. When we get to 50K, we are already at 12.4K, so 12.5K. So make sure that you keep on tapping that screen, and we'll get to 50K in no time. If you guys could do me a favor and share this live, I would appreciate it. Make sure anyone who would like to catch this reading live is here to receive it. But before we get started, why don't we warm up with an intuition check? Also, I need to grab my mic. Hold on a moment. There we go. Got it. Cool. All right, there we are. All right, we're going to get started with our intuition check. I'm going to hold up an animal spirit guide card here. We're going to count back from 10. Go ahead and put your impressions. And when I get to 1, I will receive the card. Oh, I did not see your baby draggy. Thank you so much, Nikki. I've got you on the list too. You'll be the second person read for. All right. I've got the animal spirit guide card here. We're going to count back from 10. Bryn, thank you for getting on the list. You'll be the third person read for. If anyone else wants to get on the list right now, you'll be the fourth person read for. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's interesting you said salmon, BB, because we got a bear. They eat salmon. Thank you guys so much for participating. We'll do that again after the next reading. I mean, after we conclude the daily collective. And in the meantime, if you would like to get on the list, you'll be the fourth person read for. Also, if there is anybody who is on the hold list who would like to be added to the list, please let me know now and I will add you as well. That said, bears are like a dragon of the earth. I love your tenacity in getting it in. A bear is a kind. I like this too. A bear is a kind of owl plus lion. Okay, never mind. I appreciate the effort. All right, friends. As I mentioned, if you'd like to get on the list right now, you will be the fourth person read for. I will reaffirm the list is going to be short today. So if you'd like to get on the list today, please do so sooner rather than later. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, Binks and Mylayo. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for on these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We are doing readings here for life path, highest priority messages from spirit, past life, angelic guidance, pet readings, animal spirit guide readings, mediumship readings, love readings, dream interpretations, and guided messages. Hey there, Bex. How are you doing, dear? It's been a minute. That said, no better time than the present. Why don't we get started? Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first 2 cards in our 5-card spread? First 2 cards we are starting our day off with today are the Emperor card in its upright with the 3 of Pentacles in its upright. Let's talk a little bit about this energy that we're moving into right now. So one of the things that we're working through right now has to do with the culminate. I keep on hearing this is the culmination of a lot of those temperance relationships. One of the things that we've been seeing right now, and you'll remember, and what I think is actually really beautiful in relationality to a lot of those temperance relationships is the observation and understanding of what time can and cannot heal. This has been an overarching message that's been coming throughout this entire energetic cycle that we've been experiencing, that has started effectively from about the time of that solstice period up until the present. Now, one of the things that we were identifying and we were working through is the observation of what time can and cannot heal. What is the space of which time can heal something? Time is an energetic healer insofar as it allows one to be able to have energetic perspective on things. The ability to kind of be able to step back and to be able to see the energetic bigger picture of something is often something that helps us to facilitate upon our own pathwork of healing. This can be really difficult because especially and particularly sometimes, I like to point this out, Trauma often wants to create that myopia in relationality to all we can see, like all we can perseverate upon, like all we can really, really energetically focus upon. But when we are able to kind of build into the space or the state of being able to step back from ourselves, being able to step back from energetic situations, it allows us the energetic context to be able to understand and recognize what feels like it's moving in a way that feels like it is energetically fortifying and supportive of the self. This is very important right now because you'll recognize that during this, I'm going to tell you right now, this retrograde, there are new energetic connections that are being made. I'm also seeing that there are unhealthy relationships that are coming into a space of energetic closure. Now, what is the context by which we're recognizing and identifying what feels like it is energetically restorative versus something that one is moving away from? The continuation of understanding and recognizing that the healthy relationship is one wherein we navigate and carry our energetic standards as if they were our own. For a lot of the energy right now, that I either see energy in separation. I see three different modalities that are occurring right now in separation. And I'm going to work you guys through them. The first modality I'm potentially seeing, I am seeing a small window of energy that is coming into pathwork of restoration. What are we seeing and observing in those small areas of observation as it relates to restoration? These are spaces or places where there is an accountability that is being articulated upon in relationality to an overabundance of emotionality on something that was not energetically important, right? When we bring a disproportionality of emotionality to something that is not energetically important, it allows the context by which we are able to facilitate healing because it is the observation of understanding ourselves better. It is the clarity by which we are able to recognize, identify, and define the standards that we're energetically holding ourselves to that is potentially allowing for some energy of reconciliation to occur here. But that is the modality by which we're identifying that that is occurring. What is not potentially happening right now are situations or circumstances wherein there were separations where one person was feeling emotional because it felt like their standards were not being energetically held. Often we can tell that this is happening because we feel bad about having our emotions come up, because when we feel the space by which I feel like our standards aren't being held, they become our boundaries. Our emotions rise up because it is almost like it is the energetic spiritual body that like effectively protects itself or works through something. So that we're seeing even now, if these are modalities where someone was feeling a lot of emotionality because of a standard that one was holding and another person energetically moves away from them in the context of not wanting to deal with the emotionality of a standard being held, this is the energy. If this is energy trying to come back towards someone in the context of seeing and saying to another person, are you done being emotional? This is the energy saying, no, I was being fundamental. And further, in the observation of someone seeing us being energetically fundamental upon something and observing it as being emotional, the recognition of someone that holds different standards than us is allowing the context by which closure can occur. So there's a lot of energy right now. I would not be surprised if there's some energy right now in separation that is feeling frustrated but fortified, right? Experiencing something that feels like it frustrates or upsets the self to observe, but also re-amplifies what is energetically important as it relates to what one is seeking in partnership. So we see even now that for a lot of the energy doing that work, that sense of resilience is moving a lot of the energy in separation through this energetic retrograde cycle. Like this is a lot of that energy finding the strength to move away from an unhealthy energetic cycle. Now, I also see that these are relationships. The relationships that are coming together right now are potentially breathing a sigh of relief. Why are we seeing that this is the energy that is breathing a sigh of relief? Because this is the energy that is understanding and seeing resolve in counterpart. And what does resolve in counterpart mean? You need resolve in order to be able to build into a manifestation goal. It's easy to say that one aspires and desires to heal from something. It's an entirely different thing to be able to do so. And I see even now that for some of the energy and separation, having to heal from circumstances or situations wherein there was the observation of an experience where someone articulated what it is that they were trying to effectively heal or move away from, only for someone to reappear from the past and then running back in the direction of the energy in the past. This is the energy that is breathing a sigh of release because they see the energetic resolve that they recognize is fundamental for building healthy partnership. And that's why we even observe that for a lot of the relationship, we're working through that capacity, that observational point of understanding is allowing a lot of the energy to move towards one another with even more energetic confidence. This brings us to a lot of the energy that is moving deeper into divine union. Everything I keep on seeing right now, remember when we're talking about this is why this energy is a little bit frustrating. It's the frustration that fortifies. For the energy that is moving deeper into divine union, a lot of the energy we articulated moving deeper into divine union were those magician partnerships and that ability of moving something with more rapidity, because we even observed that some of those energies, pardon me, especially last week, were having like a little bit of this surprise by which they were bringing forth upon something, a little bit of that anticipation or that expectation, that surprise energy that allows the possibility of what it is that they thought was further away coming into fruition sooner. For a lot of those relationships, being able to articulate to another what that point of intention is, the ability to discern and recognize and facilitate upon it. Everything we keep on seeing that's happening in those experiences is, and I keep on seeing, it's frustrating because for a lot of those relationships, having to do the work to clear the air outside of partnership it's frustrating because it's almost requiring them to speak upon a past that they would rather not speak about. But even in the, I keep on hearing, even in the observation of the energy feeling disinclined to talk about something, it's the observation of how far they've energetically come, particularly and especially if there was something from the past that they used to be incredibly centered or focused upon. This brings us to a lot of the energy deep within divine union. And this is why this energy deep within divine union right now, it's most frustrating. Why is it most frustrating? Because the frustration that fortifies is very helpful for energy in separation. It's reaffirming to the energy coming into divine union. Deep within divine union, it can feel more like feeling energetic pressure because it's not necessarily deepening the discernment point in relationality to the direction of partnership. One card to clarify, please. We've got here the King of Wands in its reversal. So this is what I was talking about yesterday. This is like, I like to describe this right now for energy deep within divine union. This is like the energetic season of minor grievances. This is like this type of energy right now. It feels energetically pesky. It feels like a lot of things energetically happening at once. It can feel like a lot of little annoyances piling up. It's a lot of that type of, that's why this retrograde right now can feel so, I feel like it's destabilizing, not in like one big way, but it's like working through like a bunch of little tiny things. You know what I mean? It's like that's the type of energy we're talking about. And the thing about it too, and this is why I was talking about the fact that I feel like it's very hard. Like I feel very hard for those who have Virgo placements, because this is not the ideal energy right now. This is not the ideal energy for those with Virgo placements because it's working through, it's hard. I keep on hearing, it's hard to feel energetically perfect when it feels like there's a lot of things going wrong around the self, right? And that observation or that feeling of wanting to over internalize, the thing that you have to be conscientious about with this type of energy is when a lot of things feel like they're energetically going around the self, and we got a lot of that Virgo energy. It creates that space of wanting to over internalize upon it, right? Like feeling like it's energetically occurring within the self. And that's why I'm going to keep on saying that the energy deep within divine union is working through, like, again, and this is the gift that we often receive with the moon that we experienced, right? Because again, what did that Aquarian full moon tell us? I wrote about this in my Mystic Meditations article. When we feel like when we feel like something is energetically directed towards us, we step back, and what do we have? We have the ability to navigate something with a sense of perspective. So for a lot of that energy right now, this is the gift of counterpart. It's working through the doubts of the self. It's working through past triggers, past traumas coming up, those little moments that feel very targeted to the self. But then again, the healthy counterpart that helps us work through it by building into the context of understanding that sometimes our experience is fortified by the fact of carrying something that is energetically personal to us. Sometimes it can feel very, like I keep on seeing, it's like it's working through the part of the self that wants to take things personally. And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, it is the compassion we give each other via becoming energetically comprehensive. Continuing to, and that's why I was telling you guys it was easier. It was easier when we had Mercury in retrograde with this energy, because Mercury in retrograde with this energy was like calling across the void to all of the energy in Aries that's retrograding out and being like, have you tried putting a little compassion on it? Have you tried putting a little compassion on it? Fourth and fifth cards in our 5-card spread for today. Four of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with our High Priestess in its reversal. This has been like, man, we got to work through this right now. This we've been getting the high, like it's been like a little like yesterday yesterday we had the Queen, the Empress card in its reversal. Today we had the High Priestess card in its reversal. 2 days ago we had the Empress card and the High Priestess in its reversal. We're going to talk a little bit about this here because this is beautiful. This is how, and I got to tell you right now, this is impacting masculine and feminine energy energetically differently. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. What are we effectively seeing that's happening right now for masculine energy? And this is why this is why I'm going to tell you right now, I do not want you projecting anything right now. No projecting. Don't you dare come out of this clips and tell me you are projecting. Okay. Okay. For the masculine energy right now. And here's the thing I'm going to tell you too. I got to say this, and I was talking about this the other day. I don't necessarily mind seeing a High Priestess in its reversal, because you have to understand the quality and characteristic of a reversal has everything to do with what's around it. I do a lot of work in my classes teaching this. Do not just take a card at its reversal and feel like you understand what it means, okay? Masculine. These 3 cards together. Look at this. Stepping out of the comfort zone. Working. How does masculine energy step out of the comfort zone? By being an energetic shield in understanding what creates energetic discomfort in others is what we keep on seeing, right? This is literally the masculine energy doing the work of understanding that we become stronger when we allow ourselves to be energetically vulnerable, right? It's not easy. This is literally the lesson that says the way you feel strong is by feeling weak, right? That's strength. Like when you're resting on the space by which you feel energetically confident, that's latent, right? But when you're moving into the space of vulnerability, right? When you push beyond what you think you can do, that is the feeling of getting energetically stronger. You become vulnerable as you're becoming stronger. It requires the space of being able to energetically push beyond the comfort zone. So I see a lot of the masculine energy doing that work to try. And again, what did I tell you? The desire to hermit up, right? There's nothing stoic in not talking about our energetic feelings. The stoicism comes in being able to energetically communicate upon something that has a lot of energetic meaning to us. So that's what we see that a lot of the masculine energy may be working on right now. Feminine is working through, and I keep on seeing this, feminine is working through navigating others' energetic disapproval of them, because this is a lot of the feminine that works through the difficulty point of understanding that when we become, right, when we come into the space of identifying and feeling our own comfortability point, we build into the context of not necessarily energy, and I keep on seeing not caring in the best way possible, right? Now, why are we saying not caring in the best way possible? Because compassion is articulated via the communicated passion, right? And so that modality or that experience by which often the feminine has to go through inner child healing, feeling the sense of disappointing others, right? But again, when we are working towards our highest self, we are typically disappointing others in the best way possible, which is the space by which another person articulates to us and says, I'm disappointed in you. And the question we ask is, what were you energetically expecting? Right? Because this is a lot of the energy of the feminine that comes into the space of understanding and identifying what it feels like to be able to inhabit the self, but not be in a state of experiencing or feeling others' perpetual judgment. So that's why we see that for a lot of the energy right now with the high priestess in its reversal, right? This is like the high priestess in its reversal for the right reasons. Because often, I need to point this out, the high priestess sometimes can be too much in a state of quietude, right? It's too much of the energetic tendency of wanting to like shrug it off, not necessarily being bothered by it, but the ability to articulate upon the things that are energetically bothering us allow us to be able the ability to effectively communicate through things. So I feel like there's a lot of that energy of the feminine that is, I keep on hearing, observing, not absorbing, and in the meantime also not trying to take things energetically personally, right? There's a lot of, I keep on hearing, like, that's a lot of the energy of the feminine building into the context or the concept of personal expansion. Continuing to get clarification between our emperor card. I'm going to tell you right now, that feeling is potentially going to intensify as we move towards eclipse season. Continuing to get clarification between our Emperor card and our Three of Pentacles in its upright. One card to clarify, please. We've got here our Eight of Cups in its reversal. Now, one of the things that we want to, one of the things that we want to talk about right now has to do with the fact that we've got Neptune. I'm going to work you guys through what we're seeing right now, again, in relationality to these retrogrades. We've got Neptune and Saturn that are retrograding together, and they're sitting again right on that meridian point between Aries and Pisces, which is talking to us again. And the difficulty point with Neptune and Saturn both retrograding is they have a lot to do with the context of time. I would not be surprised right now if you're feeling like you're going through a lot of timing issues, or or if it feels really, as my like throat chakra closes up, or if it feels very hard to be able to energetically schedule things, or it feels like it's like, if it feels like you're doing something that feels like an energetic juggling act, because that's often what we see with Neptune and Saturn in its reversal. It's feeling like you're being energetically pressed up against time, right? You will often, I need to stress this. One of the reasons Aries come here is to resolve their relationship to time. That's why go find every Aries you know and ask them why they're so clock obsessed. Okay. And the thing is, and here's the thing about it, the observation and understanding that the timeliness by which we do things allows us, I keep on hearing, like, it allows the context by which, I keep on seeing, we're able to, and it's so interesting too, because it's like with all of the, I like to describe this to a certain extent, like with all of the planets in Aries right now retrograding, it really is kind of like improv energy. It's having to like rush through things or do things very, very energetically quickly. But everything we keep on seeing in relationality to that is almost articulating or defining what it is that we're trying to do in a better fashion. And I need to point this out too. For a lot of the energy doing that work, I keep on seeing that there's something, I keep wondering, there's something very significant about the ability of doing something energetically quickly that I almost identify is happening. And I need to describe this too, especially with Chiron and Eris that are retrograding together. The one thing we want to be conscientious about is not allowing the space of getting energetically volatile through those modalities, right? And this is what I meant about having energetic compassion for others. If you're simultaneously experiencing or seeing that same sense occurring, I want you to remember, and this is what I mean about saying don't take things personally right now. Everybody is experiencing that, right? And when you recognize that the way that you're energetically experiencing something is very similar to what another person is navigating, I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, being able to build into that pathwork of resilience, right? That's the resilience that allows for the articulation of expansion. Now, for the energy in separation, this is why I keep on seeing there may be some energy right now that is articulating upon their frustration, but it is the articulation of their frustration in the best way possible. And why do we say in the best way possible? Because for a lot of the energy that is working through those experiences, that ability, you remember when I said that the context by which we understand that a large amount of emotions is very reasonable if it feels like our standards are not being energetically held, seen, or supported, right? And so that's the kind of conversations that I see that are occurring right now. The observation and recognition of identifying a standard that we energetically hold and being able to speak with energetic passion upon it. I would not be surprised right now if there are some unhealthy relationship cycles that are coming into coming into a space of closure via the articulation of the energetic standard that one does not feel is being respected. Because for a lot of the energy right now that we're effectively seeing, the energy in separation, if these were experiences where another person saw a lot of emotionality and moved in the other direction, this is the energy returning back and saying, like, are you still being emotional? Someone being like, that is what you can always expect if you're holding into the space of challenging an energetic standard. And that's why I keep on saying the observation of someone looking towards a standard and saying, are you done being emotional about it? Someone saying we have different standards that allows the closing of those unhealthy energetic cycles and moving a lot of the energy in separation into a space where they may be feeling energetically frustrated but fortified. Whereas for a lot of the energy right now that's moving deeper into partnership, I just keep on seeing for those relationships, I keep on, this is the culmination of that. Again, moving deeper into divine union, clarification between our Three of Pentacles in its upright in combination with our King of Wands in its reversal. The energy moving deeper into divine union right now is breathing a sigh of relief. Because you have to remember that up until this point, there was a lot of energetic conversation in relationality to what the direction that they were headed was, right? A lot of that energetic observation, a lot of that conversation and relationality to what they were healing from. And I keep on seeing the difference between healing from something and energetically waiting for something has to do in the energetic arrival of something back towards the self. And this is why if the retrograde brought something back towards the energy moving deeper into divine union, tangibly, emotionally, or spiritually, seeing the energetic resolve in action, the energetic resolve of someone who does not only articulates upon what it is that they're energetically trying to do, but also is in the space of moving in accordance to it. This is a lot of that energy that's moving deeper into partnership via the the amplification of the energetic release and relief that they're feeling as it relates to potential the worry that they may have had that someone was just articulating upon the fact that they were healing rather than moving in accordance to it. This brings us to the energy that's moving deeper into divine union. I'd say like right now, like a lot of those magician partnerships are also moving like this is the magician partnerships that are moving deeper into divine union as well, because you have to understand that the energy right now, working through the context of dealing with healthy static outside of partnership, the amplification of the frustration point not being within partnership, but being outside of it, and also in the context of helping to energetically clear the air identifying and articulating something that they're doing that feels like it's energetically nourishing to the self, but in the same time having to do the pesky work of having to articulate upon a past that they'd rather not effectively talk about. The observation, I keep on hearing the understanding, or the clarity in potentially seeing something that they used to only talk about. It used to be the only thing. I remember like, it used to be the only thing they could speak about. But now even the space of like articulating it brings up like a level of cringe, if you will. Like, you know what I mean? Like the energy is like working through the cringe of the comparison of something that was not necessarily healthy for them versus what they feel and what they know to be energetically true to them. Like even in that context, I see that this is the energy that feels that deeper affirmation because they're recognizing and identifying how energetically protective of the partnership they themselves have become. Clarification between our King of Wands in its reversal and our Four of Pentacles in its reversal. We've got here that Page of Wands, right? Like I keep on seeing, they're almost like, I almost see like they're protecting, I keep wondering, they're protecting the partnership almost like one would a child, is what I keep on seeing. Right? I keep on seeing it's the space by which they're almost identifying and saying, and I keep on seeing, and this is why they're articulating the difference, because I keep on seeing that if these were experiences in the past that they were trying to move towards something out of a state of desperation, they're now saying, no, I'm not moving something towards something quicker because I'm trying to change it. I'm wanting to move something quicker because I cherish it, because I want to energetically protect it. Continuing to get clarification between our Four of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with our High Priestess. And this is what I mean about the energy right now. It's pesky energy for energy deep within divine union. It's working through, it's like working through a lot of things, feeling like they're energetically harder than necessary is what I keep on getting. Like it's that like this is like a lot, it's a lot of that type of energy. Come out, I see you want to come out. Clarification between our Four of Pentacles in its reversal and our High Priestess in its reversal, or King of Swords, you know. And so what we got here with the King of Swords in its upright and the High Priestess in its reversal, everything I keep on seeing in relationality to this right now, it's how do I describe it best? And I love seeing these two cards in alignment together. And again, if you're following the podcast, I would encourage you to go over and take a look at the photo of this spread when you head over to the stack. We've got here the King of Swords in its upright and the High Priest in its reversal. And it's beautiful because this is what we're talking about healthy masculine and feminine energy. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. What do we effectively identify and recognize that occurs right now for energy that is deep within divine union? This is effectively what we often want to identify and experience in relationality to working into the context of healthy counterpart energy. It is the space by which we are able to energetically amplify and articulate upon something that we have. I keep on hearing for feminine, it is the ability, I keep on hearing for feminine, it is the ability to be their most open, expressive self, as it were, right? It's the ability to be able to articulate upon their own sense of preciousness. But what's difficult for feminine, and this is why it's so difficult for the journey of feminine, the ability to identify one's own sense of preciousness often sounds outside the self like the song of you disappointing everybody energetically around the self, right? That is the space by which we understand and navigate. And this is what's difficult, because we see even now the conversation in relationality to how that is experienced by feminine is very different than how it is experienced by masculine. The observation that when masculine is able to be more in that space of holding themselves energetically precious, it generates more of a feeling of respect, right? It is the space by which the masculine experiences that, and the song they hear, the song the masculine hears as they become more energetically precious is the space of others energetically respecting. While for feminine, the sound that feminine often hears in becoming more energetically precious is the song of disappointment, right? It is the observation of that. So what are they doing in deep within divine union? They're supporting each other in the context of case in point, even as my throat chakra starts to like lock up as I'm speaking towards this, even in the context of recognizing and identifying the feeling or the frustration of having to work through the same energetic challenges and experiencing very different energy outside the self as one does so. So this is why we see that this is a lot of the masculine. Remember I said it's almost the masculine energy entering that modality of coming into the space of being energetically and this is what we talk about with the difference between masculine energy becoming protector. And we have to talk about this here. The reason masculine energy needs to be energetically protective of feminine is not because the space by which the feminine needs protecting. It is the observation that as the feminine becomes more energetically precious, it often articulates around the feminine as the feeling of receiving a lot of disappointment surrounding the feminine, right? It is almost like the feminine that has to work through that energy. So this is why we see, this is why like almost the masculine that articulates upon the feminine, the masculine being protective of feminine is to amplify the feminine's ability to be brave in that energetic space. Likewise for feminine, the ability to be the space where masculine does not feel that they have to be strong all the time. The space by which the feminine does not create the space where the masculine has to feel like they need to be that hard line is the space by which the masculine is able to be their authentic self with the feminine that allows the context of the masculine being able to heal and integrate their inner child with their present self. So for masculine right now, I would not be surprised if you're going through a process of integration, right? Allowing that vulnerability to be expressed. For feminine, this may be like this may be working through and navigating like the resiliency required in navigating others' energetic disappointment. So we see even now, like for a lot of this, the one thing we have to be the one thing we have to be observing in relationality to this energy is the difference by which masculine and feminine are moving through it to a certain extent. Continuing to get clarification between our 8 of Cups in its reversal in combination with our 10 of Swords in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our 9 of Swords in its upright. So let's talk a little bit. About this 9 of Swords with the 10 of Swords in its upright. One of the things that we see that is potentially occurring right now, and I keep on seeing this I've got the modalities right now that are happening in separation is the observation. I keep on hearing the frustration that fortifies. Why does frustration fortify? Because frustration fortifies because frustration is not devastation, because it's the observation and recognition of understanding what is happening, right? And so I keep on seeing if these are situations where, again, energy is in separation and they're building into a space of healing and something from the past returns. And I keep on seeing someone from the past returning, not being in a space of being able to articulate the disproportion of emotionality that one brought to a situation that was not warranted, but rather waiting out, feeling like someone was trying to wait out another person's emotionality. Like a lot of that, like, are you finished yet? This is a lot of the energy that's saying you're not. No, and I never will be. Like it's the energy that goes, like when we're holding our energetic standards, we're never finished holding upon them because they're not, I keep on hearing, standards are not conditional to time. And when someone is trying to build into a space of not honoring our energetic standards, they're trying to build into a relationship of desperation. And a relationship of desperation is never energetically healthy, because that's the energy that makes one have to feel like one needs to disassociate in order to be within it, right? Because it is the observation of someone saying, every time you bring emotions here, I'm going to energetically go away. It creates that instability point. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy and a lot of the relationships doing this work. Like I can almost see, like I told you, a little bit of that frustration coming out, a little bit of that. I keep on hearing the force that is necessary, the energetic force that is necessary to clarify to another person the observation of what is energetically occurring. So I told you there's a lot of energetic closing out right now of unhealthy cycles, particularly and especially potentially based upon the affirmation of working through the space of observing that when I keep on hearing, when we care about one another, we energetically support each other, but we don't, I keep on hearing, we don't necessarily demand upon each other, which is the space by which we are effectively, I keep on hearing, we're effectively understanding and work towards a space of honoring each other's standards. So that's what I keep on seeing right now for a lot of that energy that is in separation. This is either the closing out of unhealthy energetic cycles by being able to identify, recognize, and understand what is going on within them, or this is energetic cycle. These are the relationships that are coming together right now, and they're potentially healing even deeper by expressing to each other what those fears were, what those anxieties were, what those concerns were in relationality to how one was articulating versus the ability to energetically move with resolve in relationality to the direction that they said that they were going. Because I keep on seeing, like, particularly and especially like in those modalities wherein I keep on hearing, like, the space by which we try to heal from a past, the difference between us articulating that we're healing from a past and waiting is what we do in the context of it, of energetically arriving towards us, continuing to get clarification. And that's why I see a lot of that energy moving into divine union. But even as they move into divine union, I keep on seeing there's a lot of this emotionality that's expressed because they're feeling energetically triggered at the moment, that they move deeper into divine union, in recollecting situations and circumstances where someone let them down in that capacity, right? It's like I keep on hearing, it's like it's often, this is why moving into divine union can sometimes feel very triggering, because it's in the space by which you recognize and identify what feels like it is energetically positive. It immediately reminds you of the experience by which that did not occur. So I keep on hearing, there's a lot of emotional unpacking that may be happening right now for a lot of that energy that's moving deeper into divine union. Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Swords in its upright in combination with our Page of Wands in its upright. One card to clarify. We've got here the Hierophant in its reversal. For a lot of the energy, I keep on hearing the energy moving deeper into divine union right now, those magician partnerships, this is how they're clearing the air. The reason, every time, you'll notice every time I start doing magician partnership readings right now for the energy deeper into divine union, they're going like this, because they're clearing the air going, this is not that. They're clearing the air going, this is not that, is what I keep on seeing. And it's clearing the air by going, this is not that, because, and I keep on hearing they're going through spirituality lessons, which is the space by sometimes something that we're doing that isn't energetically healthy looks very similar to something that feels like it's very energetically positive and supportive of the self. So if these are experiences, remember, a lot of these energies are speeding up timelines. They're moving deeper into partnership with a lot of rapidity. And if these are energetic relationships where in the past they did so out of a state of desperation, this is the energy that's saying it's not desperation, it's celebration. It's not in order to save something, it's to secure it. It's not doing it because I'm out of options. It's the energy saying, because I know that this is for the self, because it's energetically precious to the self. So for a lot of the energy right now, I feel like it's almost like having to express and expound upon something in a way that is allowing the energy around or surrounding partnership to understand more effectively how important something is. Continuing to get clarification between our Page of Wands and its upright. And remember when I said that inner child healing? Look at this. I just need to show you these two cards. If you're masculine energy right now, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. Look at these three cards together right now, guys. Like that's a lot, right? So let's talk a little bit about that right now. Clarification between our Page of Wands in its upright in combination with our King of Swords in its upright. There it is. We've got the Seven of Swords in its upright, but we like to see the Seven of Swords in its reversal. The card is in its reversal. I was going to say, we like to see a Seven of Swords in its reversal, because the importance or the significance that we identify with the Seven of Swords in its reversal has to do, I keep on seeing, with the observation. There's something, I keep on saying, there's something very energetically important as it relates to energy deep within divine union right now. And I feel like it has to do with the fact that Saturn has moved back into Pisces, which is articulating and having a lot of feelings about something. But also our feelings, remember when I said the force of compassion is the ability to articulate why we feel the way we do? I keep on seeing that force of compassion, to a certain extent, is the space by which we articulate. And it's giving me a little bit, of, I want to describe it as like, it's giving a little bit of hands-off energy, is what I keep on seeing. And why are we seeing a little bit of hands-off energy there? Because the thing you have to understand and recognize in relationality to the energy deep within divine union is understanding when we are deeply in partnership with one another, we are very, very energetically protective of our journeys. And this is why I keep on hearing, if someone is energetically dismissive, right? If someone is energetically dismissive of us, often our counterpart will effectively articulate and identify and be able to, I keep on hearing, be able to amplify and clarify to another why, like how one feels and what one feels is energetically important. And so everything I keep on seeing there in relationality to working through something has to do, and I keep on seeing like, I feel like what's beautiful about this is the energy deep within divine union holds each other's past preciously, which is the space by which we understand and recognize that we are the shape of everything that has occurred to us. And when we understand that we are, I keep wondering, we are the shape of everything that has come to us. Every part of us we hold energetically preciously. And so everything we keep on seeing there, I feel like this is what a lot of the energy is doing right now deep within divine union, which is the observation of holding into the space of being able to appreciate what we energetically go through, or what it is that we're trying to do, or how we're trying to do something in a different way. And I keep on hearing it's rough out there, right? When we're trying to move in the space of change, it often feels like we're going against the flow. It feels like things are stacked against us. It creates that space that you often feel, that energetic intensity, that often feels like nothing is energetically happening. And I keep on hearing like the gift of counterpart is such that it gives us those moments of perspective, which says, listen, if you're pushing against something and it feels like you're not making any effort, you're probably, if you step back, I think you would recognize how far you've energetically come, right? Because it's like, I keep on hearing, it's the force of I'm not getting anywhere that allows anything to be possible. It's the space by which one, like, it's like the space by which one puts energetic force on something that feels like the vibration of just like wanting to like the like that push that you need to give, that often feels like that is the sense of identifying, that is the sound of you giving your all to something. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now working in that context. Like, and I'll tell you right now, the hard part retrograde like this is it can do a number, it can do a real number on your own feeling of accomplishment. It can do a real number on your feeling of working through the rut. Because typically when we're going through a retrograde, it feels like there's a rut. We've got like 6 planets in retrograde, so it feels awful quiet in here, right? This retrograde is the feeling of spinning your wheels. But when you understand that the retrograde is the feeling of spinning your wheels, then you understand that you keep spinning. It's not the time. It's not the time not to do that. Continuing to get clarification between our Nine of Swords in its upright with our Hierophant in its reversal. There's that Temperance card in its reversal. And this is the only thing I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to say this again. Now is not the time. I'm going to explain this in the best way I can to help you understand. I am not telling you to bite your tongue during this retrograde. I'm not doing that. I am saying there might be some situations or circumstances that require you to effectively articulate upon something. But I'm going to say this again, okay? Compassion is the ability to communicate upon something that you're passionate about. It's being able to speak towards it, to put words to it, to help identify and articulate upon an energetic problem. That is how we refine our emotions. When we do not have the ability to articulate upon how we feel, you are being led by your passions. If you are not able to articulate the meaning by which you do things, then you're being led by your passions. Now is not the time to be energetically led by the passions, as it were, which is the space by which one allows the feeling of frustration to move you to do something in a way that just articulates the fact that you're energetically frustrated by it. That's not communication. Okay. Articulating that you're frustrated about something isn't necessarily energetic communication. Working towards energetic resolution, articulating upon the betterment of something, speaking towards what one would energetically prefer, I feel like that is a lot of the work that this retrograde can help us with. But I keep on seeing it's hard because I keep on hearing like the work by which there are circumstances or situations that are reaching points of closure is the articulation and the definition of being able to energetically define upon something that is occurring that allows one to be able to build a point of closure upon it, is what I keep on seeing. That's the type of energy that we're seeing right now that may feel like it's energetically restoring and fortifying in this retrograde period. What we want to avoid, and what we always want to avoid during eclipse cycles, is fits of passion. Okay. And I keep on saying a fit of passion is doing something because one feels emotionally led to do so, but not being able to understand or articulate the reasons why. Right? Compassion is communicated passion, being able to articulate and define why one feels the way one feels. So make sure, I know that there's a lot of intensity of emotion right now, but make sure that not only do you think before you act, you speak upon energetic action, is what I keep on seeing. Continuing to get clarification. And that's what I keep on hearing right now for a lot of the energy. Remember when I said for a lot of these energies moving deeper into divine union, it is the energy that is effectively, I keep on hearing all the energy in separation is breathing a sigh of relief. And I keep on hearing either the energy is breathing a sigh in the relief in the sense of the self and saying that they are proud of themselves for how far they have come, or they're breathing a sigh of relief as they move deeper into divine union because they found someone who has the resolve to navigate and maintain the energetic manifestation that they are working towards. While for masculine and feminine energy that's moving deeper into divine union, I keep on hearing it's the sigh of nostalgia that's coming through with the clarification between the Hierophant in its reversal and the Seven of Swords in its reversal. Because with the clarification of the Knight of Wands, I keep on seeing, you have to understand, the energy right now moving deeper into divine union is holding the energy that they have so preciously that even in the space of clearing the air, it feels triggering because energy doesn't even like the pathwork of comparing something that wasn't healthy for them to something that is so energetically nourishing to them. But understanding the context, again, having the energetic empathy of things outside of partnership to be able to articulate upon why something is different is also helping to fortify the energetic direction, but also easing the energy outside of partnership in the process, right? This is what I keep on hearing. When we care about relationship, we work to dispel illusion around it, is what I keep on hearing. While for the energy deep within divine union, this is a lot of the space by which we understand and recognize that for a lot of the energy, as I said, a lot of the energy right now deep within divine union, it's working through personal frustration. It's really like this type of energy, it's really hard not to internalize things. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, not letting not letting the over internalization get the better of the self. This is how the relationship, this is how we heal each other in relationship, because I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, counterpart is doing the work of that Aquarian full moon, which is helping get out of our personal headspace by giving a sense of energetic perspective. Final card. Final card for today's spread between our Temperance card in its reversal and our Knight of Wands in its reversal. The Chariot card. We love seeing this card to conclude our deck right now, to conclude our reading right now. So I'm going to say it again. Working through these energetic cycles, I don't want you, I mean, there's a lot of potential frustration that is coming up right now. Okay, we've got with all of these planets in retrograde, it's very, very, I want you to understand, it is very, very easy to feel frustrated. Feeling frustrated is not motivation to do something. I'm going to hold my hand, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. If you are frustrated and you do something out of character, that is your energetic character. Okay? That is not the space by which we articulate and define. When we are feeling energetically frustrated, we have to move into the space of recognizing and identifying. And I keep on saying, and it's not the space by which it's not, and this is what I keep on saying. This is why it's different for masculine and feminine energy. For masculine energy, working through energetic frustration, I keep on saying it's working through energetic frustration, but then being able to identify and recognize what fortifies, right? It's coming into the context of the self by which one is not taking the frustration personally, but having, like I said, working through. Have you tried putting a little compassion on it, right? Giving others that space of compassion that allows things to be energetically productive. Because I keep on seeing when we're feeling frustrated and we bring compassion to situations, then it allows the space by which it's the opportunity that is allowed to be that is able to be energetically eased. For feminine, I feel like for feminine right now, it's working through the ability of being able to articulate why one is frustrated. It's finding the power or voice to be able to amplify and articulate upon a valid frustration. Because I keep on hearing for feminine, the ability to feel the ability to feel energetically frustrated is one. And I keep on hearing the way that you here again, the way you can fortify whether your frustration is valid is whether you can think of something that's better. Right? If you can find a better solution to something, then your frustration is valid. It's like, it is the frustration that feels fortified because it's the space by which it says it doesn't have to be this way that allows one to be able to bring something energetically productive to a situation. So make sure that your frustration is being fortified with productive action. That's the big message before we move into this eclipse season. Bottom of the deck on this reading, Ace of Cups. The reason I say this right now is because we've got this there's a hypersensitivity moment that's happening right now. And I'm going to tell you, some people are recognizing and identifying it, and some are probably not. And when you're able to understand that, you're able to move through it more effectively. We've got Jupiter sitting alone in Cancer, which is, that's why I meant it was easier when Venus was in Cancer with Jupiter, because Jupiter in Cancer can create a lot of being in the feels, being in the sense of feels, having a lot of feelings about things and feeling very vulnerable about feeling them, right? We've got a bunch of planets that are retrograding in Aries, which makes it the space of feeling, I don't want to feel like this, right? Eris and Chiron retrograding together is like the old wound, being like, I'm tired of feeling this way. Neptune and Saturn working through the context of the past that feels like it energetically burdens us, right? Building into the understanding of being able to move through something, not being energetically reactive, but being, I keep on hearing like this is a beautiful time to set intentions, to build new resolutions for the self, or building new energetic plans of action. What you want to avoid right now is doing something because you're feeling all of that hyper emotion that doesn't move you in the direction of what it is that you're trying for, but rather moves you back into the self, right? So the frustration that fortifies is healthy energetic action. It's being able to do something in a better way. So if you're feeling this right now, and I'm going to say this now, you don't need to activate in every single energetic cycle. If you're just working on grounding right now, that's okay, right? Our first priority of spirit is to make sure that we are in a good place. And so that if that means that that's the space by which you have to do something to support the self right now, that's okay. Being able to articulate and identify that. Having needs, I keep on hearing again, having needs is not needy so long as it is a fixed point of need. So make sure that you are articulating upon your needs to be able to do something more effectively. That is where we find all that is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank all of you for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you would like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent class on the Tower card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, September 17th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Star card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. And if you are a monthly subscriber, you will also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have on anything that we've studied. You'll have also access to 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. Now, if you become a founding member, you will have full access to the archive. That is access to over 17 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. You will also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey, to give you to help you move towards what your own tarot goals are most effectively. One of the things I tried to do in these classes is make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned professional. There's something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will give you updates on everything that we've studied in our classes up until this point. I'm also going to give you, you also have access to our Mystic Meditation articles, which give you updates on what we've been seeing energetically in the cards. I'm going to be releasing one this week on how to navigate this full moon energy most effectively. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. You can purchase these per dream or as a series. If you purchase a series, I would encourage you to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal. As we'll meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal to determine and utilize the tarot to understand what is coming towards you in your dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow. That is our daily collective read for today. We are going to get started on personal readings. Congratulations to Coop. You got our highest gifter today. I know that you're already on the list, so you can let me know if you would like to hold that reading or have it at another day. And Bumblebee, you came in second, so you will have an additional card in your one card in your subscriber reading. I'm going to take a few minutes to read over some of the comments that came through as it was reading, but if you would like to get on the list for today, the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Binks in my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We're also at 25K likes, friends. When we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. So make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. Also, if you want to get on the list, please do so sooner rather than later, because I will not be on as long today. And yep, I got you on the list, Nikki. Thank you as well. And thank you, Becca, for the follow. Thank you for confirmation, BB. Thank you for helping me reach my crown goal. Zane, thank you for all of those wonderful gifts as well. How are you doing, Phoenix? I hope you're having a beautiful day. All out of compassion. It's okay, dear. It's okay. Those lady cards need to stand upright. Absolutely. Same. Thank you as well for the roses. Talk to me, Sin. Help me work through this. So true. I just ate a Lunchable for brunch. That's where this energy has me. I got you. I get it, dear. Listen, I like light food right now. I totally understand. Nurturing the inner child. Absolutely. It's a lot to juggle. Yes, I feel like I'm spinning plates and more being added. 111 Princess, tap to claim as well. Ella, 1212 Bridget. Here too. Thank you for the compliment, Eureka's. Thank you for the compliment, Rini. Great. I'm glad I'm doing the right thing. Sending you support, Melanie. I'm tired. I'm tired grandpa energy. It is giving salmon swimming upstream. But that's what we're going to see. Like, yeah, Saturn's back in Pisces. But it's not just the fact that Saturn's back in Pisces, but Saturn's back in Pisces on the meridian of Aries. So it is going to feel like a lot of like swimming upstream. Thank you as well, BB. And thank you for encouraging everyone to tap, Nikki. Bridget, I'm on your tail. How are you doing, Shush? Thank you for those gifts, BB. Looking forward to our reading. Thank you for saying this in. This is so much of my inner mess today. Message. I wanted a message. I think we're all doing this is not that. I know. The retrograde feels like it. I know the retrograde does feel like a time machine, because I wouldn't be surprised if you're feeling really, really triggered or things from the past just coming up. Absolutely. I love the idea that divine union is within the self too. Well, and that's important, Catherine. We always talk about that here in these readings. Depending on how you're reading this is either happening internally within the self or externally. Thank you for confirmation, BB. Trusting the process. Nah, thank you as well, for sure. Yes, healthy communication. We love healthy communication. The only kind to choose that we have. A little of passion. A fit of passion. I like that. Compassion is not a fit of passion. Absolutely. Compassion is communicated passion. You get a wound and you get a wound. Yep. Thank you as well. You get a trigger and you get a trigger. Exactly. And Delta, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. You get a reminder of your past and you get a reminder of your past. Yes. And you get an ego and you get an ego. Yes. Maybe Oprah is one of our spirit guides. No crashing out in this energy. I feel like rest, but don't crash out, if that makes sense. I feel like Jupiter alone in my Cancer. I am Cancer. Yeah, and here's the thing about it. Jupiter by itself in Cancer right now it can feel like it can feel energetically lonely. You know what I mean? Like Jupiter, like that's why I said Jupiter with Venus, when Venus was in Cancer with Jupiter, it was a little bit easier. But like Jupiter in Cancer is like, it's like it's a lot of that like inner work. Yep. I like to think I do too. It's okay to set things up even though the eclipse is coming to knock it down. I don't want you to think about the fact that the eclipse is going to knock anything down. I need to stress this. I don't want you looking at the eclipse like it's going to knock something energetically down. I think it's more working through the vulnerabilities of the self. It's working through the frustration that allows us to effectively arrive like arrive in the space of our best self is what I keep on seeing. So I feel like there's a lot of that effectively occurring. Yes, eclipse doesn't always, yeah, exactly. It does not necessarily knock things down. It can amplify. And it can also knock down the right things, right? Like it's working through the space by which we understand what we're working through. You're so welcome, Bumblebee, and thank you for those beautiful gifts. Yes, I started a routine and I got a planner that's making it more creative and more productive. Thank you for those roses, BB. I appreciate you. Very inner child healing. Absolutely. I've been walking and healing my inner child self and finding joy in little things, not just sleep. I know that spaceship is wild. It's new. I haven't seen it before. The spaceship is super cool. Beam me up, Scotty. And Jason, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, it is Rocket Man. You're so welcome, Shush. Hold on a moment. Just looking, catch back up where I was. And you're so welcome, Elisa. Good to see you, Hawk. Welcome. Good to see you again as well. You're gonna hold it for tomorrow, absolutely. Tarot class is Wednesday, September 17th, dear. Right back at you. And I'm so glad that this was helpful, BB. Excellent. All right, guys, we are going to get started on personal readings. As I mentioned, if you'd like to get on the list right now, the list is open. 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers, links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We do here life path, highest priority. All right, BB, your card's already out. Okay. We do here high life path, highest priority messages from spirit, past life, angelic guidance, pet readings, animal spirit guide readings, mediumship readings, love readings, dream interpretations, and guided messages. If you want to get on the list right now, it's a great time to get on the list. You will be the 4th person read for. And before we get started on the first person we're reading for today is BB. BB, let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question. And before we continue, let's get started with an intuition check. I've got our animal spirit guide card here. We're going to count back from 10. When we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the cow. Thank you guys so much for participating. We'll do that again after the next reading. All right, let's get to it. Can anyone get the cow? Next. Owl, cow, kind of rhymes. All right. What do we have here coming through for BB? And I'm going to pin BB up, guys. Make sure to give BB some love. Excellent. Hold on a minute. Let me just find your question, dear. Got you there. All right, guys, make sure to give BB some love. We've got here, oh my goodness, holy moly. Oh, Lord. I've seen this all before. Fights against, I've never met anyone like you before, is what I keep on hearing right now. Like that is the energetic battle that I see that you're having to work through right now in relationality to something from the past coming up and energetic and the situation right now. I've seen this all before, falls to the floor. When we encounter, I've never met anyone like you before. And this is why, like, this is, I know, like, look, I know how difficult it can be. You know, the space by which This is, and this is why we often, I got to describe this. There's something very nuanced coming through from one of your higher guides that says, and I know that this is going to sound ridiculous, to be able to find wisdom, sometimes you have to abandon energetic wisdom, is all I keep on hearing. And the reason I'm effectively seeing that, and it's because I keep on hearing, you have to, like, when we're working into the context of understanding and working through something, sometimes our wisdom becomes our energetic hurdle, right? Sometimes the wisdom becomes the energetic hurdle because the wisdom often wants to intervene and say, look, no, 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 look, 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 this happened on page 12, right? Like, this happened on page 12, this happened on page 12. And we say, no, and the minute we say that's not, this is not that, right? The space by we recognize and understand that something that we're experiencing changes profoundly in the context by which we energetically find it is often the way that the universe tries to say, see, the universe, the universe sometimes says, you see, like, I need to, I need to, and I feel like there's something really energetically important there, because I keep on getting some kind of message that's coming through in relationality to a past karmic situation that says, and this is a hard, and this is what I keep on hearing it. I'm going to give you everything that you ever wished for, has to fight against. I'm going to make you regret you ever said that. I know you know what I mean. I'm talking about right now. And that's what's so difficult when you come into the space of healing from someone that comes into the context of saying, I'm going to make you regret you ever said that, which is the space by which it makes you, it's like, that's the level of a wound that we often have to heal from, that makes us afraid to articulate upon our energetic wishes. It makes us afraid to say things because it's someone being like, thank you, you just gave me what I needed, right? Like, that's the, like that is like, it's like, it's the feeling of constantly moving into a space of working through the, and I keep on hearing, when we care about each other, when we truly, and this is how you're going to heal from a wound like that. And I want you to think about how you inhabit and experience things. If you care about someone truly, could they say anything to you that would build you into the context of you saying to them, I'm going to make you regret you ever said that? Like, do you understand the level of pain that someone must be in? Like, the depth of one's own egoic self, that, and I feel like this is how, like, you're going to have to, like, work through that, because it's understanding that space, like, building into a context of anticipating and trying to, like, that's entirely protective, right? Like, and what I keep on hearing, when we're so energetically protective, that I keep on hearing, like, the level of protectiveness that we have, that when someone's opening up to us, we don't look at it as the space of them of holding their vulnerability like a gift, but instead feeling like their vulnerability is something that we can utilize to our own energetic benefit. That is often, that is not, I keep on seeing, like, the difficulty upon that is often one, that when we come into the space of letting that go, it's like healing the trust wound feels like, I keep on hearing it, I feel like it feels like we're throwing ourselves into an energetic abyss, right? Because it feels like we're letting go of our energetic safety net, because that's the experience by which we were so deeply wounded in the past. This is how you heal an intimacy wound of that nature. Some wounds sometimes, and I know it's so difficult, because I'll tell you right now, this is why this is why there are like quotes in the Bible that say, when I walk through the valley, right? Because often when we're moving in accordance with what we know we need to do, it feels like it's detrimental to our own sense of security or safety. But that is also what's beautiful, I need to point out about that, is the power of love is such that when we put ourselves in that space of vulnerability, it's the space of being caught in that embrace, right? The feeling of us moving into something that feels like another person hurt us, but instead someone catches us in that space. It allows us to heal in a way that we never thought possible, because it is the vulnerability. It is the space by which we can feel safe to be vulnerable that allows us to feel the full amplitude of the love that we're building with another. And I feel like I can see like there's a lot of stuff that's coming up right now, because I can see you kind of going through something and being like, I've never felt that vulnerable before. But I feel like I got a strong message of the guides that are coming through that are saying this is what it's going to feel like to become stronger, right? It's that sublime paradox of vulnerability that allows one to feel the significance of your own strength. So I want you to make sure, I keep wondering, I want you to make sure that you're communicating how you feel at this time. I don't want you like none no, I've got this like, I don't know, you got some cancer placements in here too? You got some like, going for like, you going, I mean, it's okay. I keep on hearing if you're going for walks, like you can like, I keep on hearing if you're going for walks, I keep on hearing a walk is telling someone how long you'll be, is what I keep on seeing. Like a walk is telling someone how long you'll be. I need a minute. I need a minute is okay, right? Is always important, because I feel like there's something that I see that you're doing right now. Like I almost feel like you're going through some kind of heart opening experience, which is often like the moment where it's like, I just need a second to understand how I feel. So I feel like I keep on hearing like make like making helping another person understand that like you can be in a state of being okay while you're trying to energetically process. And I feel like, and I think that that's like, I feel like there's something about that that's going to be helpful right now, like something about saying to another person, can I just have a moment to process? Which is the space by which you can identify that it's okay that, like, I feel like I see these moments that you have a lot of emotion and you're not necessarily sure what to do with them. But I keep on hearing like the ability of saying like, I just need a minute to process isn't necessarily the space by which you can say to someone it's good or bad, but being able to find a way to find the words to help identify how you feel rather than getting reactive. Because I keep on hearing this. Your trauma did not give you time to process. That is a form of trauma too. I keep on hearing someone say, I need an answer. That is trauma. Not giving someone time to process is also trauma. So I feel like even in the context of saying that, you saying to another person, I need a moment to process, and them not getting upset, but saying absolutely, like that is also helping you heal in some way. Because I keep on hearing the situation of the past, like it was like I feel like it was a lot of like it's a lot of this like push or shove, a lot of this like took too long, took too long, like that kind of energy. You know what I mean? Bottom of the deck on this, justice and its reversal, right? Healing does not require us to get rid of our triggers. I got to tell you, those triggers are never going away. We don't heal by pretending we don't have triggers, or trying to white knuckle through them. Helping another person identify where they are helps them support us with them, which is the space by which we say, look, what, like this is a tender subject for me. It's always going to be energetically tender. Maybe the day will come that it won't be, but this is where I am now. So like the ability to effectively identify, I keep on hearing, don't feel angry at yourself because you have triggers. I keep on hearing, be expository about them. Be expository, right? Articulate upon where they are. And again, because when we exposit upon where our triggers are, another person shows us who they are by showing us how well they can support us through them instead of trying to trigger them. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, BB. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Also, friends, that we are at 31.5K likes. When we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective, so make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. All right. Hold on a moment. And tarot class is on September 17th, dear. Oh, you're so welcome, BB. And again, guys, make sure to give BB some love. A great reader as well. Let's do it. Highest priority. Love it. Frog seal. You can't put 2 animals. You get the key. Excellent. Darn it. Yes, I saw horns with the wrong ones. I love that. You did. And you saw there were horns. I said brown bear. Exactly. Oh, no. Darn. You got half the. I know. Did you see all the cards that came out? Yeah. They came out before I was even ready to do the reading. That's a lot of cards. Hear the chaos in the background. Yeah, and I just want to see. Good point. Yeah, I mean, like that's what I mean. Like it's working, and that's what I meant. Like needing a moment to process, which is understanding when like a lot of those feelings come up. Just being like, I keep on hearing it's okay to say to someone, "I need a moment to process," because I keep on hearing in a non-traumatizing environment, someone's going to give you that space. Yep. Oh my God, I was talking about the past, like pages and chapters. Oh, thank you for confirmation on the reading. This resonates. Oh, thank you as well, Bridget. Yep. Very, very deep wound. No, I see it. It's incredibly, it's hard. No, I can see it. The hardest part is verbalizing the experience. No, I can see like it feels like it's like I keep on hearing like you're healing from I'm going to make you regret you ever said that. That's the best way I can define it, which is the space by which someone doesn't come close to you to understand, but just like is like store. I keep hearing like storing things up to be able to utilize at some other point. Yeah, straight into the abyss. Sublime paradox. That is the current plan of action, taking time to process before responding. Well, let this serve as confirmation that you're in alignment with, let this serve as confirmation about being in energetic alignment and working towards that capacity in terms of if this reading's in alignment with what you're doing, like that's even better confirmation. We were literally just talking about this. Oh, thank you for confirmation. It's most definitely helping to heal. Absolutely. So glad to hear that. Thank you. Identifying our triggers and clearly communicating them. There you go. Black knuckle for me. I love it, BB. I was going to say that. Coops therapy. Excellent. Continue to do that work. All right, friends, we're going to continue right now. The next person on the list for today is Nikki. Nikki, can you let me know if we're doing a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer? And if anybody else would like to get on the list right now, it's a great time to get on the list. You'll be the 3rd person read for. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We do here life path, highest priority messages from spirit, past life, angelic guidance, pet readings, animal spirit guide readings, mediumship readings, love readings, dream interpretations, guided messages, akashic, and mind, body, spirit. Oh, we're doing a dream reading. If you have a dream that you would like interpreted or a past life you would like more information on, you can include it in the notes when you send the donation, or you can post it in our subscriber only Discord channel in the appropriate channels. Is this inside tea or outside tea, Nikki? All right, just bear with me a moment. Hold on. Just got to get it up. Outside tea, our favorite type of tea. Wonderful. Before we continue, let's do an intuition check. I've got our animal spirit guide cards here. All right, I'm going to count back from 10. When we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Did you say Bambi? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Air Dragon. Thank you guys so much. You remember how we got like, I think we got like all the dragons yesterday. All right. No. Okay. And just bear with me a moment. I'm going to pin up Nikki here. Guys, make sure to give Nikki some love. All right. I had a dream last night, this morning, and while I can't recall all of it, a few parts really stuck out. At first, it was in some sort of Airbnb. There were a lot of people from my past, my ex-friends, current friends, I think my current partner too. We were cooking and cleaning up before leaving. There was also a part about moving cars and parking that felt important. My partner and I were trying to fit our cars into parallel spots in the garage, moving them around to make it work. Weirdly, there weren't actual cars. It was more about planning the spaces than driving them, but the parallel parking aspect stood out. Then the setting shifted into a camp atmosphere, almost like a dormitory or a religious retreat. Some of the faces stayed the same, like my best friend, but many people were different, though in the dream I somehow knew them. We were under threat from people outside our group. Someone higher up gave me a box of weapons to hand out so we could protect ourselves when we left. I remember vividly going through the box. There were all kinds of pew-pews and weapons in different shapes and sizes. I was carefully choosing which one should go to each person based on their personality and what I knew about them. Every time I picked one up, I felt nervous about the safety not being on. So I handled them really carefully, fearful, but aware it was necessary. I was also in charge of explaining to everyone why we needed them and that we'd have to use them to protect ourselves when we went back home. At first, I chose one for myself, but then realized it suited someone else better and gave it up. After that, I was trying to decide which one I would take for myself, and then I woke up. Can I please have 4 cards, highest priority messages, please, in relationality to the dream? Hmm. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to go through. We're going to go through. We're going to go through this stream in stages, because it's very important to identify the fact that there's 2 different points in the stream. There's the energy of the past, and then there's the energy of the present. Because I do feel like one of the things that we're seeing right now has to do with a comparison in terms of like how far you've energetically come. This is definitely a guide dream. Now, the thing that you first identified was that the location by which you were finding all of those people in the past, you identified it as a rentable space. Now, what's interesting is often in the context of dreams, we see the location by which we are inhabiting has a lot to do with the context of the self. Now, in this context, you're looking at all of those experiences in the past being in a rentable space could often indicate the space by which you are encountering energy before you found yourself or before you understood yourself as well as you do now, which is why you said that you were in a rentable space. It was you were more in the space of being adaptable to the situation, being in the space of being what others energetically needed. Now, you then identified that you said that there were ex-friends there, current friends, and your current partner too. You said that they were cooking and cleaning up before leaving. Now, what's interesting is the fact that you said that they were cooking and cleaning before leaving, which means that this is talking about the fact that you yourself have energetically changed in the process of those experiences. You said that there was something about moving cars and parking that felt important. You said your partner and you were currently trying to fit your cars into parallel spots in the garage and moving them around to make it work. And you said weirdly they weren't actual cars, but it was more about planning the spaces than driving them. But the parallel parking aspect stood out, right? And this is important because when we see cars or vehicles in dream space, it can often speak towards relationships. So, what do we see that you're currently doing? You are doing the work with current partner to figure out what works, to figure out what fits. You have to utilize all of those experiences from the past, which is why you said that all of those friends were leaving. But it's the understanding of all of the experiences of the past that frame the context by which you and counterpart are trying to align energetically effectively. And it's not easy. And you even articulated this in the space that you said they weren't really cars. And it's working through, and that's what's hard because often building into relationship is working through disparate past experiences to find those unification points, to figure out what fits. And what's interesting about it, and I feel like this is the message that's coming through from the guides, you have to abandon past experience to leave room to understand and recognize that something that you're experiencing, inhabiting in the space of the counterpart may be something entirely different, which is why you saw them in the space of energetically departing, right? It's like there's only so much that you can learn from the past if something that you're experiencing is different from anything you've ever had any kind of context of experiencing before. And what is the required in the context of doing something that feels like it's accommodating versus something that feels like it's energetically liberating is confidence. And this is what you've effectively found. And this is the transition that is happening in the space by which you said that it shifted to a camp atmosphere. Because in the first part of the dream, it didn't seem like you knew what you were doing. It seems like you were watching others do things. It was more of a space of saying, what do you need? How can I energetically accommodate? We see the shift as you finding your energetic confidence because you said the setting shifted into a camp atmosphere, almost like a dormitory or a religious retreat. You said some of the faces stayed the same, like your best friend, but many of the people were different. Though in the dream, I somehow knew them. You said that they were under threat from people outside of the group. Someone higher up came and gave you a box of weapons to hand out so that you could protect yourselves when you left. This is the space by which you said you were going through the box, and there were all sorts of different weapons in there and all sorts of different shapes and sizes. You said that you were carefully choosing which one should go to each person based upon their personality and what you knew about them. So I want you to identify and recognize the shift that occurred in the space of the first part of the dream where you were looking around for what to do, right? You were more trying to build into the context of trying to energetically fit in. But this is now you effectively finding your energetic confidence. And you're not just, I keep on hearing, you're not just building into the satisfactory point of experiencing something and receiving it. You're more taking the experience of the past to understand what you can give to circumstances or situations that feels like it's in energetic alignment, right? So this is a lot of that work that you saw in relationality to doing so. And you said every time you picked one up, you said that you felt nervous about the safety not being on, so you handled them carefully, fearful but aware that it was necessary. You also said that you were in charge of explaining to everyone why we needed them and that we'd have to use them to protect ourselves when we came back home. Now, one of the things I think that's happening there, this is effectively the force of love, right? Because the force of love is effectively the space by which we energetically prepare each other for what it is that we may need to energetically face or encounter. So this is effectively, and I think this is kind of interesting here because even though, right, even though you're giving each other, like, and I know it sounds a little odd because I know that in the context of the dream, you're articulating the fact that you're giving out weapons. But what this is really saying to me is this is the sound that your love makes. Because when you give your love to others, what are you effectively doing? You're energetically protecting them. You're giving them something you need that feels like it is going to energetically make them be safer, which is why, and I keep on seeing the space by which you were feeling the care in terms of the safety being on was the tenderness and the delicacy that it often feels like when we're trying to give something to another person that feels like it is going to support them but without creating energetic anxiety within them, right? So I feel like I see that this is potentially, I wouldn't be surprised if you're trying to help others with their problems right now by being energetically supportive, but not trying to create anxiety or alarm in relationality to something that they're energetically facing, because that's often what it feels like when we're trying to care about someone effectively. It's like, here, be careful with this, handle it delicately, right? It's like, here you go, be very gentle. Like, I know, and that same space of energetic preciousness, right? It's working through the space of navigating something that is energetically precious because you understand it is important. And what's interesting about this too is, and I need to like explain this. You said, and the context by which you said, at first you chose one for yourself, but then you realized it suited someone else better and you gave it up. After that, I was trying to decide which one I would take for myself. And then you woke up. This is the amplification of identifying where you are on your own energetic journey, right? Because it's the articulation that you're giving in relationality to working through something, right? Identifying something that you have or something that you can give another, right? This is almost like the space by which we share wisdom, right? Being like, I feel like this is something that would be helpful to you to know or to you to share. But even in the context of this, and this is often what it feels like when we're sharing our energetic wisdom. We often feel like we're giving things to others, but ourselves, we don't know what's ahead of us, right? We don't know what we ourselves need to be energetically prepared for. So this is effectively the space by which you're finding yourself on your journey, which is the space by which you're helping others through something, even as you yourself are trying to understand and define something different, like finding what works right for you. But I keep wondering, that's the irony. That's the irony of a healthy energetic journey, which is often the space by which what you give to others feels like, I keep on hearing it, you understand easily what another has, but it becomes so much harder in the context of what's right for the self. So it's interesting because I feel like the guides are showing this to you and they're almost amplifying the fact that you're doing something right, because that uncertainty, and this is the important thing, the uncertainty is amplified in the fact that you're doing something carefully. The uncertainty and the preciousness has to do with the fact that you're approaching things carefully. You're approaching them energetically mindfully. You're learning to trust yourself in the process. But most importantly, you're learning to build the confidence in yourself to know what is energetically right as you encounter or engage upon it. Bottom of the deck, especially especially with the 10 of especially with the 10 of wands in its reversal, there's something really beautiful. I feel like I would not be surprised right now if you've been going through an energetic journey where you've been shedding a lot of ego, right? Because I keep on getting the ego wants to hold on to things, is what I keep on getting. The ego is like, gimme, 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 right? Like, the ego is like, ooh, like the ego is like, gimme, 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 gimme. Like, it's like, it wants everything, right? And that's what you meant. And like, I need to describe this, even in the space by which you identified the Airbnb being such that you were like, you had everybody in there, but they were energetically leaving, right? It's working. I keep on seeing this is you working through identifying and feeling, working through the concept of understanding and recognizing what feels energetically right for the self often is the journey of letting go what feels like it is not. So there's something really beautiful in relationality to you doing that work, because it's almost like the guide's showing you how far you've come on your own egoic journey, because they're saying like you can, I feel like if you're worried that you're operating from a space of ego, the guides are almost saying like you're not in a space of ego, because you're not, I keep on seeing, you didn't take the box of weapons and say mine, like mine. Like, you immediately, you were recognizing and identifying what, like you're like, that is the song of working selflessly, because it's the space by which you weren't necessarily finding the best thing and saying this is mine, but saying, and this is in the space of being like, this isn't right for me, this is for you, this will be best for you. So it's working through that understanding of the self. And I need to point out, often the understanding of the self is not just the space by which we understand what is for us, but we understand what is not. We understand what, like, it's walking the energetic pathway of recognizing and identifying. That's what alignment is. Like, this is for me, this is not. Like, that is the space by which the guides are showing you in the context of the dream how well you're starting to do that work. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Nikki. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to receive them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to have insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. And also, we are at 36.6K likes. When we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. So make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. All right. Dragon, turtle, same thing. Okay, Bryn. Seems very fitting to your present life. I think it's interesting. They were never actually used, but I need to point this out. Like, I need to point this out. This is why we can see that that's wisdom, right? Like, that is you disseminating wisdom to those around you. Because again, the space of wisdom is you giving something to someone and saying, I hope you never have to use it. Is what I keep on, like, I hope you never have to use it, but here it is. Yes, if it's exactly, that's what I thought. Yeah, they were in spaces in front of one another, like tandem parking spots. And that's what I keep on seeing. Like, in order, it's like the message coming through that says, in order for you and your counterpart to figure out what fits, you have to abandon everything that's come before it, which is the space by which you can only, I keep on hearing like it's giving a lot of that, like everything with a grain of salt, which is not necessarily predicating upon the experiences of the past, recognizing that something entirely different could be happening. Yes, I have the pew pews now. I was trying to protect Jinx. Yes, in several different relationships. Like, here, take this. It would be better for you. Like, you need this more than me. I'm definitely approaching things carefully. Yeah, the 10 of Wands in reversal in that reading was really intense. I think you're completely right. I feel very in alignment. Thank you as well, BB. It was a beautiful, and thank you for helping me. Thank you for allowing me to read on that dream, Nikki. Comparison is the thief of joy. Exactly. That's crazy. I was just here. You were just hearing grain of salt too. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing with the tandem parking spots. And I think it's interesting too, because you said they weren't actually cars, which is the space by which you were recognizing that it's like you have to move away from what you know. You have to move away from the preconceived notion to be able to identify what feels energetically right for the self. All right, we're going to continue right now. The next person we're reading for today is Bryn. Bryn, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you would like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. If anyone else would like to get on the list right now, it's a great time to get on the list. You'll be the second person read for. 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings. I love him. And you can book private readings on my site. Also, friends, we're at 37K likes. When we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. Just a reminder, if you're interested in getting on the list, we do Dream life path, highest priority messages from spirit, past life, angelic guidance, pet readings, animal spirit guide readings, mediumship readings, love readings, dream interpretations, and guided messages. And I'm going, you're so welcome, Nikki. I'm going to pin up, before we begin with Bryn's reading, let's do another intuition check. I've got our animal spirit guide cards here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was the dragon, the air dragon specifically. Congratulations to those who got it. Bryn, I got it. You said dragon. I mean, we like a little bit more specificity, but we'll take it. All right, let's get over to Bryn. And guys, if anybody wants to get on the list right now, it's a perfect time to get on the list. You'll be the second person read for. List is nice and short right now. All right. And I'm going to pin Bryn up here. Make sure to give Bryn some love. Yes. Highest priority message for Bryn on the journey they're planning tonight. 4 cards, please. And 2 more. Are there going to be a lot of people around you? Are you? Is this something? It doesn't. You know, I feel like I see a lot of. I feel like I see some kind of situation or circumstance. Like it's interesting. Like it's like I feel like I keep on hearing. And that's why I said, is this something you're doing by yourself or something that you're doing with others? In either context, it's really interesting because I keep on hearing that the concept or the space of breaking ice is one. I keep on hearing like breaking ice allows the space by which another person feels energetically comfortable um to inter like to interrupt upon something is what I keep on seeing. And I think that there's something really interesting about this because I'm identifying, it feels to me like there's something about you articulating and working through the definition of the self that has to do with what you are and are not available for. And I feel like one of the things that I'm seeing that's happening for you potentially is like, and it's interesting too, because it's very much in alignment with the readings, like the readings that we did today for the Daily Collective, which is, I keep on just hearing the same message, which is when we are finding ourselves, we're going to energetically disappoint others along the way. And it's like, and I keep on hearing the same, like the same space by saying, when we're doing something right, it's not about not disappointing energy. It's about disappointing the right energy is what I keep on seeing. Like the journey of finding the self is often disappointing the right energy, which is the space by which you understand and navigate another's disappointment in like in what they energetically expected of you versus who you actually are. And I keep on seeing, I feel like there's something that you're doing right now that has to do with defining your own expectations. I feel like the most important thing that you need to work on right now, I want you to prioritize your purpose. There's something about this journey that I feel like the significant space is helping you to unify and prioritize your purpose. And the thing I keep on seeing is when we prioritize on our purpose, I keep wondering, it allows us clarity in terms of how we approach something or what we're trying to do, or the ability to articulate and amplify to another what how we're attending, like how we are, like what we are trying to energetically accomplish is what I keep on seeing. And so I feel like that is what I feel like more than anything, like it feels to me like the journey itself is a journey to help you find your purpose. But I keep on seeing and I keep on remembering purpose is not found outside of the self. It's found within. The difference, like finding purpose, finding purpose is, and I feel like I keep on hearing finding purpose will help you refine what it is you're trying to energetically do more effectively. But even I keep on hearing it's also going to help you from feeling energetically worn out upon something is what I keep on seeing. Because I see you I see you I see you. It's interesting because I keep on I see and what's weird about this, I'm gonna just tell you what I'm seeing in the space of this reading. Sometimes we need to move purposelessly, in order to find our purpose because it's the ability of understanding and recognizing, and it's very much falls in alignment with Nikki's, like with the reading that we just did for Nikki actually, because we have to understand what isn't for us to understand what is. And I feel like this is you being able to come into your own exceptionalism, or being able to identify or recognize what makes you uniquely you is what I keep on seeing, right? Like there's something really important about that I keep on hearing. And I think it's interesting too because I feel like a lot of it is potentially having to require you to heal from a past that made you feel like some kind of energetic outcast for being different. But and you have to understand this, and that's what I meant with like finding our energetic purpose. When we understand and recognize, and that's what I meant also about like working through something and not allowing another's disappointment to impact or affect you. Like I almost see you kind of moving into some kind of, I keep on hearing like advocacy space or being able to articulate upon something because I keep on hearing different is precious, which is the understanding that when someone is energetically different, we don't energetically condemn them for it. We hold it as an energetic ideal is what I keep on seeing. So I feel like it's interesting because I see you both finding your purpose, but also potentially letting go of a lot of karmic relationships or situations that made you feel that you were the energetic problem because you weren't fitting another person's template of what they energetically expected of you. I want to give you some bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, especially with the magician in its reversal, there's a lot of, I want to say there's like a lot of there's a lot of surprise energy around something in this journey. Like I don't know if this is something where you'll be encountering energy of the past, but I almost see like some kind of space by which you identify or articulate, or someone says to you like you've changed, and I almost see you saying to them like we're supposed to. You know what I mean? Like it's the identification of, I keep on hearing like when someone says we change, like it's a bad thing, right? Like it says to me Like that is the song of stagnancy, right? And I keep on hearing healthy relationship celebrates change. Healthy relationship celebrates transformation. Healthy relationship considers it an honor to be able to energetically transform together, is what I keep on seeing, which is the space by which we identify and recognize and delight in our energetic becoming. And I keep on seeing, I feel like this is helping you heal in some capacity from someone that tried to articulate that your desire to change was I keep wondering, like, change, like, and it's interesting too because it's coming through in terms of someone trying to say like change for change's sake is I keep on hearing change for change's sake is often the energy that doesn't understand that change you can change for joy is what I keep on hearing. The reason like change brings joy because it brings I keep on hearing like I see somebody that was trying to articulate to you that you are too changeable. But I keep on seeing as long as that change, I keep on hearing, as long as that changing doesn't affect the relationship that they have with you. Like as long I keep on hearing, as long as your feelings don't change in relationality to the change of the self, it should your change should not be painful to another person because it's the difference I keep on hearing. It's the difference between like I like to point this out like when we're changing in positive ways we change completely but then internally we never change at all, right? It's the space by which we understand that our feelings stay energetically rigid while we ourselves continue to change. Like that is the force by which we identify the force of love, right? It's the identification of understanding that it doesn't necessarily impact the way that we feel about one another. But often I keep on seeing when someone is too much in the space of being within the egoic self and they see someone changing, then they look to us and say, this isn't what I signed up for, right? Like this isn't what I energetically expected. So I feel like I keep on hearing healthy partnership. We never put the expectation in the person. We put the expectation on the relationship. The potential goes in the relationship, not in what we expect from the person. We build the relationship into the potential. We've been talking about this whole period. We build the potential into where we expect the relationship to go, not in the embodiment of the person within it, because that is how we navigate the change that allows us to. Because again, if you have a manifestation goal for partnership, you're going to have to change in the space of it. But that's why we don't build the end. We don't create. I keep wondering. We don't create a crux in the space of saying we want to bring the relationship somewhere, but we're going to promise not to energetically change at all in the process. That is, I keep wondering, that's impossible. Like that is impossible. Is what I keep on seeing. You can't move towards a manifestation goal and then say, okay, we're going to move towards this manifestation goal, but promise me you won't change at all, because that like that what like, that you can't do that. You can't say don't change, like don't change at all, but we're moving towards this manifestation goal, because the manifestation goals require us to change in accordance to them. So I almost feel like you're letting go of some kind of energetic connection that was asking the impossible of you, which is often the space by which someone says, I want this to change. Like I want this to change, but you can't change at all. Is what I keep on seeing. So I feel like there's a little bit, I keep on hearing, it feels like it's bittersweet, because I feel like it's almost helping you recognize the absurd limitation that potentially someone articulated you or gave to you in terms of trying to fit their ideal instead of the ideal of what it was that you were trying to build with them. So I feel like that's like almost like a continuation of you potentially healing some kind of past karmic connection in the process. That's never easy, is what I keep on seeing. So I keep on feeling like allowing your feelings to come up as you're going through that process is going to kind of be helpful on that journey. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Bryn. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common that those that need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you'd like to get on the list, you'll be the next person read for. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We're also at 40K likes. When we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. One moment, please. Got you. And thank you, Hardy, for the gifts. 1 person around, but just me in the for the actual journey. Thank you. And it's interesting too, because like I feel like it's like there's something about, oh, I was like, it's like I see that there's like, it feels like there's a lot of energy around you. I feel like that's the thing about it. It's gonna feel like there's a lot of energy around you, like a lot of, and I feel like it almost feels like working through unhelpful energy by standing even more in your energetic power, if that makes sense. That genuinely makes so much sense to me. Purpose is not found outside the self, it's found within. I do my best. Thank you, Zen. I love this so much. Absolutely resonating. Oh, this just happened to me yesterday. Sending you support, Zen. Excellent. You're so welcome, Bryn. Hi there, Erica. Good to see you. All right, friends, if anybody would like to get on the list for today, the list is open. You will be the next person read for. In the meantime, we're going to get started on 1-card readings for subscribers. If you are a subscriber and would like a card pulled, go ahead and put your question in the comments. If you would like to become a subscriber, just hit my name. Just hit that subscribe button, and you can also have a card pulled. Also, if you are a subscriber who would like an animal spirit guide card, please make sure that you're recharging your heart me. That will entitle you to an animal spirit guide card as well. 1 card on watching these talks. I got you, Bridget. 1 moment, please. I mean, it's giving your. I feel like you've got. I feel like you're not. I feel like the thing is they're like, especially if you're like, especially if you're doing something and they're all in contact with one another. It's going. It's. I keep on hearing like they're jockeying for position. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to decide who is like. I feel like it's like I feel like it's I don't I can they can I feel like it's a bunch of energy trying to articulate or define who you like best is what I keep on seeing. Bottom of the deck. Um you know what's interesting about it? I'm going to tell you right now. I know this is going to sound a little bit wild, okay? But if you are noticing some kind of like restless or jumpy behavior in relationality to them, and you're seeing them like separately, you might want to change what you're wearing, is what I'm getting here. I'm getting some kind of energy. Like I see somebody, like I keep on seeing that somehow, like I feel like there's something about the pets that they're like they're trying to figure out, like it's like they're I keep on hearing like they're trying to, like it's funny because I kept on hearing who you like best, but it's almost like the space by which they recognize that you've been seeing, like, I know it sounds funny, but like you've been seeing other pets, or them kind of like trying to articulate and identify like where have you been. So you might, if you, I keep wondering if you change what you're wearing, they might settle down, if that makes sense. Animal spirit guide, yeah, especially with the otter. You know, like I feel like you're like, I keep on hearing like you're coming in like a library is what I get. And they're trying to, like, if they're, especially if they're on you, it's like they're trying to get information on what's going on around you. Ava, 1 card please on our highest priority. I feel like I see somebody trying to figure out some way to maintain an energetic connection with you, is what I keep on seeing. You know? Bottom of the deck. But, you know, I would say be very conscientious about someone trying to come into some kind of like woulda, coulda, shoulda energy on something. Like I said, make sure someone's not doing any of that like make sure someone's not doing any of that like invisible ice cream, which is like talking about what they expected or were planning on manifesting with you, right? Don't I keep on hearing like don't allow someone to articulate to you how you somehow upset their own energetic plans by making an energetic decision in their absence. Yeah, especially with the bear, you know? Like I feel like it's the understanding and honoring of energetic choices, not coming into the space of expecting nothing, like feeling I keep on hearing it's very similar to the reading I gave the other day or yesterday in terms of saying like we don't call dibs or on energy, which is to say like, well, when I was done doing all of this stuff, I thought it would be like it's like none of that energy being like at the end of the day, I thought it was you I'd be returning to. Understand at the end of the day, I thought it would be you I would settle down with is no way to build a life together. Because I keep on hearing your manifestation goal isn't a retirement home for spent energy, is what I keep on getting. Ella, one card for Ella, highest priority, please. Oh, those cards are sticky. Um, you have to make the plans right now. If there's some energy right now, like it's saying to me, like it's giving me a lot of like, if you build it, they will come kind of energy. If someone, like I keep on hearing, if someone's not inviting you to something, create the energetic opportunity to get together. If something is not like if someone isn't reaching out, be the energetic force of change. Yeah, like don't like I don't read intention in another person's um lack of moving towards you. I keep on hearing like recognize that there's a lot of energy right now going through this retrograde and like dealing or working through a little bit of energetic weariness. So like making sure that like I keep on hearing don't feed assumption into it. I keep on hearing don't feed assumption into exhaustion is what I keep on hearing. Oop, hold on, Erica. I want to like Orgla is so hard. I want to like say it's very hard to say that 5 times fast. Hold on a minute. I gotta find you. All right. 1 second. Where'd you go? Hold on. Oracle Erica was next. I just gotta find the question. Ah, there it is. One card on connection, please. um, I feel like there's something. It feels like there's something really interesting about some kind of honesty that you're bringing to a situation that you haven't before. You know, I almost feel like, it almost says to me like it's giving me the type of vibration of almost like saying to someone else, like, tell me something, um, like, tell me something important that you think would be hard for me to hear, is what I keep on hearing. Like in relationality to, I don't know why, I feel like you and another person are trying to like have some kind of work in terms of like helping each other be more honest with one another. And I keep on seeing if that's the thing. I keep on hearing I just keep on hearing that repeating. Tell me something, um, tell me something you think is important for me to know that may be hard for me to hear, is what I keep on hearing. That's coming through over like very strong. Yeah, because I keep on seeing it's like you're giving each other permission to challenge one another, which is the space by which you say like, you know, like how like how like helping each other feel energetically, like helping each other work. I feel like especially if you're trying to work through like not being energetically reactive with another person. I keep on hearing the words, tell me something you think it's important I should know that may be hard for me to hear. Yeah, especially because the seal energy, which is like allowing someone, giving someone permission to enter a brave space with you, is what I keep on hearing. Thank you so much, dear. All right, one moment. Minnie, one card on how I will meet divine counterpart. Wow. I feel like they're in proximity to you. This is feeling like around the neighborhood, you know? This is feeling this is the I see some kind of hobby or activity that you're doing, some kind of shared interest. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, again, temperance energy. I think it's interesting too because I almost see some kind of circumstance or situation where you're going to have more time to do something now that you couldn't do before. And so I almost see you finding them by via the pursuing a common interest. Animal spirit guide for Minnie. Yeah, fox, right? Like I keep on hearing a shared passion for something. Um, Definitely follow your bliss kind of energy. One card, highest priority for Erica, please. If someone is being inconsistent to you, like let that be the energetic closure, is what I keep on seeing. I keep on hearing healthy relationship does not require one to search after another person, is what I keep on seeing. Yeah, especially with the 9 of Pentacles in its reversal. I see some kind of work in terms of like I see you kind of like I keep on like I keep on hearing you can tell somebody that something that they're doing is bothering you once, is what I keep on seeing. Healthy energy does not require us to repeat ourselves, which is the space by which I keep wondering like the space by which we like the space when we I keep on when we tell someone we're energetically uncomfortable with something, uh it shouldn't I keep on seeing like as long as we've got good reason, like they should just like it's like I feel like it's almost like you like they should be respective of it. They shouldn't try to push it, is what I keep on hearing. It's not polite to insist, is all I keep on hearing. Yeah, animal spirit guide, the salmon, right? It's giving me a lot of that energy in terms of like courteous energy honors boundaries. It doesn't require us to have to like reiterate upon something, or somebody like being like I keep wondering niceness is not courteous, which is somebody being like, why won't you let me be nice to you, being like it's not nice to insist. Carla, thank you for sharing the live. Fig, one card from counterpart on what message do I need to keep my head straight with the situation. Okay. One, okay. um I feel like I keep on saying it's saying to me like it's the ability of understanding that you have the right to feel energetically sensitive about something, you know? Like it's giving me a lot of I feel like it's somebody who is deeply respecting the fact that it feels like someone's put you in an impossible situation, is what I keep on seeing. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, especially with the Page of Swords. Um, because I keep on seeing like it feels to me like almost like the space of it feels like it almost feels like to me like you've had to like rush another person's maturation is what I keep on seeing, right? Like having to help another person mature faster than those around the self is what I keep on seeing. But I feel like that, I feel like it's almost like I keep on hearing, I feel like it's almost like, okay, I keep on hearing, you actually have to have a conversation with someone about the fact that they have matured faster than those around them is what I keep on hearing. That's what they're saying to say. Help them understand that that's something that they have understand. Like maturation is access to knowledge. And so when we understand that we've matured faster than others, sometimes we have information that others are not energetically prepared to receive. So I feel like you have to help another person understand that they've maturated at a rate faster than that the energy surrounding them. Animal spirit guide, yeah, especially with the horse energy, which is almost like the ability, I keep on hearing, the ability to be energetically responsible is to recognize and to calibrate, in terms of whether another, not just what we know, but whether another person is ready to receive our knowledge, if that makes sense. You're so welcome, Bridget. Bumble, you got 2 cards coming to you because you're the second highest gifter today. Highest priority, please. And you're so welcome, Bridget. All right, one moment, please. Okay, 1 card, highest priority for Bumble. 2 cards, please. um, I feel like it's requiring you to take some kind of unconventional approaches to things right now. You know, I feel like there's something energetically significant in relationality to you being able to, uh, it almost feels like you having to have a conversation with someone, um, in relationality to, uh, how do I describe this? Like I see, I feel like it's almost like you having to have a conversation with someone in relationality to not wanting to do anything is what I keep on seeing. Like I almost see like a situation of somebody who's like trying to like lean out in some capacity. And I feel like it's almost like it's like ungrounded energy, you know? Like I feel like it's like almost having to tell somebody that they can't say that they don't like something until they've tried it is what I keep on seeing. Yeah, Page of Swords, right? I feel like that's a conversation you have to have as it relates to another person articulating the fact that they have like energetic displeasure for something. You can't articulate you have displeasure on something if you haven't had experience with it. That is, I keep on hearing, articulating that you have displeasure for something that you haven't experienced is like that is a preconceived notion is what I keep on getting. So make sure somebody's not operating from the space of preconceived notions. Thank you. Hold on a minute. I got you, Ava. He never mentions the ice cream, but I also don't want to be on the shelf. Sending you support, Ava. I keep on, I feel like I keep on seeing that, so just be energetically prepared for it in case it occurs. Thank you as well, Kristen. That's really sound advice. Thank you as well, Celinda. Oh, Ella, your animal spirit guide. Sorry. Oh, the owl, right? Which is like, again, don't overly read into things, giving someone the benefit of the doubt until there's no doubt. Like I keep on hearing, not remember, like I keep on hearing, don't confuse intention with exhaustion is what I keep on seeing. Thank you thank you so much. Thank you as well, Minnie. There's a trail right behind my apartment. That's wild. Oh, cool. You're welcome, Minnie. That makes sense. You're so welcome, Erica. Yes, gosh, yes. I'm actually picking her up early for said convo. Thank you for confirming what I was reading, Thing. I'm glad that that helps. Thank you, and may you have a great rest of your day. You too, Bumble. You too, Ella. All right, final call right now for anyone who would like a full reading or any subscribers who have not had cards pulled today. Just a reminder, I will be back on tomorrow at 8 a.m. PST, 11 a.m. Eastern. If you would like to be notified when I've gone live, you can head over to my profile. There's a bell there. Activating the bell will turn on notifications. You can also register directly for the event tomorrow in the event space, because sometimes the notifications aren't pushed out. If you became a subscriber today, welcome. I would encourage you to head over to our subscriber only Discord channel, introduce yourself to the collective. You'll also find in the perks section a special coupon code that will give you a discount to our tarot class subscription program. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, September 17th. We'll be studying the star card. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today. And oh my gosh, absolutely, Melissa. One card pulled, general, please. All right. I keep on hearing, I have some exciting news to share. I keep on saying, remember, I feel like you kind of like working through an energetic restriction by articulating upon a positive change is, I feel like you kind of identifying and recognizing and celebrating some kind of new standards that you're bringing to something. I'm like, this is you saying, I have some exciting news to share, is you taking your energy more seriously, is what I keep on seeing. Bottom of the deck, especially with the King of Wands energy and it's upright. I feel like I see circumstances or situations that are, I feel like there's something about you managing your own energetic, like access to the self, or having to, like, I keep on hearing like having to put some kind of energetic restrictions on others, taking advantage of something that you're doing in a way that doesn't feel like it's supportive to the self. I keep on hearing energy that's in alignment to you will always celebrate that work, in really like as you continue to like evolve. Anna, thank you so much, Melissa. Hi there, Alexander. One card, highest priority, please. I feel like you've got a lot of karmic energy bothering you right now. These retrogrades can bring a lot of these like unhealed karmic relationships back up to the surface. I keep on hearing anything that you're receiving, recognize if it identifies, I keep on hearing anything that you're receiving right now, recognize if it identifies change or consistency, is what I keep on seeing. Yeah, especially with Page of Swords in like, I feel like there's almost like some kind of energy, like you've got some new energy coming towards you. And that's why I almost sense that there's a lot of that, or if somebody's already like, if somebody's already there, like it almost feels like someone who's kind of entered some kind of bygone conclusion space with you, which is like working into the context of understanding. I keep on seeing something that you're experiencing from a karmic like situation is disappointing you, but not devastating you. Like, let that affirm that some kind of choice you made was the right choice, is what I keep on seeing. Animal spirit. Yeah. Like animal spirit guide. I know that sometimes when that karmic energy comes up, it can feel very confusing. But I feel like, especially if it's coming up and it feels very much like it was in the space by which you moved away from something, sometimes that in itself is energetic confirmation of the fact that your perception like wasn't skewed, that you were in the right state of mind, is what I keep on hearing. I don't know why that's coming up, like someone was making you have to question yourself in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Thank you so much, Alexandra, and sending you support on that journey. All right, final call right now for any of my subscribers who have not had a card pulled, or anyone who would like a full reading. Just I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these readings. As I mentioned, we'll be back on tomorrow at 8 a.m. PST, 11 a.m. Eastern. If you would like, so true, you're so welcome. If you would like to get on the list for tomorrow, you can get on today and you'll be the first person read for. And we'll be back on tomorrow at 8 a.m. PST, 11 a.m. Eastern. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. Huge thank you to my followers, old and new. Thank you for spending your afternoon with me. Huge thank you to my subscribers. Your ongoing support means the absolute world to me. And the biggest thank you to my mods. I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful day. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of one another. And we'll do this again tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.